you just don't like me because you don't like me. You are a N-word, like, and that's what you are.
And that's the joke? That's not a joke. You understand that's not a joke, right?
Who pushing this narrative, bro? Like, you get so lost in the
Hold on, wait. Who was pushing the narrative? Wait. But because it's a Jewish person, and because it's a black person.
I just told you the number. Why do I have to look it up, bro? What the talking about?
After he did the this is called sensitivity training. You just can't make that claim. You're making a claim that you can't prove. You can't give any examples. So just stop making the claim. You're holding an L optically and argumentatively speaking.
I don't even care about the L optically. Optics.
This is the most wild kick stream I've ever been part of.
Destiny, people have come and told me, like, hey, don't talk to him because
thinks you might be a closeted racist.
But the main reason I called is because I've been mentioned a few times on your subreddit in the last, I guess, like month and a half. And usually I don't say anything, right? Like, because usually it's just like, oh, this guy's retarded. Oh, this guy's fucking stupid. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's bad faith and da-da-da-da. The bad faith one bothers me a little bit, but I usually let it go. But a couple things happened that really rubbed me the wrong way, right? Because usually, I admit, I come in here and I give a whole bunch of like statements and try to, like, I guess, get you comfortable, but that ends up backfiring and it makes me look kind of crazy. So I've kind of fucked that up from the very beginning because I shouldn't have done that. But I feel like since then, not you, because me and you have had fun, like, we've disagreed, whatever, but you've never, like, been, like, I guess, bad faith to me is the word, or like you've never been like disrespectful. But I've seen lately that there's been things being said about me, and I was wondering your thoughts on these things. So the first one, I think you already told me, like, some dude tried to say I scammed him on some dumb shit, and this community pretty much told him he was wrong and took care of that. So I didn't really have to say much. I was going to come in stream and say something, but that kind of handled itself. And you're right, it was retarded. I think you told me that that whole thing was stupid. But the next thing is, like, I posted this like joke tweet on Twitter. Well, first, no. I think the first problem was, did you see? Let me just start here. Did you see the post where they're like complaining that I said that, like, the debate with Norman Finkelstein isn't happening and that's like kind of intentional? Did you see that?
I might have, yeah.
Okay, so people didn't like that. That's fine. Like, whatever. Like, okay, you disagree with my assessment of the situation. That's fine. You think I'm retarded. That's fine. But here's where the problem comes in. Right? They have been saying that I am a liar. I'm bad faith. I'm all this and all this. And I don't mind criticism. I actually welcome it and I want it. But when you start to say that I'm lying, or like I have a position that I don't have, or like I feel a certain way, and I'm really just like holding my cards close to my vest and trying to, like, act like I like you, but I really don't, and like I'm just doing weird. It's all these weird type of things, right? And once again, all that's fine, but then forethought. So he hops in the conversation, right? And starts like airing all these grievances that he has, apparently he's been had with me since the beginning. But like, and I'm not gonna win a Reddit argument with the Reddit mod, right? So I didn't even attempt. I commented once, but I didn't even attempt to argue. But my question to you is, can you, in your best, like, could you steel man the best, like, disagreements or criticisms of me for your subreddit if you understand anything that's going on? Because
I don't think I follow any of this close enough to like have a strong opinion on it. Why not get worse forethought at? He can come in here and do it.
Yeah, get his in here. Where the f is forethought? Like, that is a wonderful question. Forethought, get your ass in here. But like, it's like, oh no, this guy's a liar. He's bad faith. He really hates Destiny. I put up a LilyPichu tweet, like, and I was like, and bro, like, there's no way unless you're like completely, literally, like, all the way autistic on the spectrum. There's no way you would think that tweet is serious, right? I put up a tweet and it's like, so I hear this LilyPichu person, what's her name? LilyPichu? LilyPichu. I hear this person's perfect. Does anybody have any dirt on her? Like, I want it all. Give it all to me. Like, LOL or something like that. And these autistic think I'm serious and think I'm trying to start a war and dig up dirt on LilyPichu and I don't know, do a exposed video on her on my gang channel. Like what? And they've run with this narrative that like I was trying to expose LilyPichu, who's like obviously a close friend of yours. So like they got real defensive. And yeah, Forethought was a part of all that. He hopped in on that whole bandwagon. I see people saying leave Lily alone. It was a joke. So Destiny, you're a smart guy. Let me ask you a question. So if you see a tweet and you don't know if it's a joke or not, right? There's certain ways to figure out if somebody's joking, or at least to try to infer if they are, right? Like, have they done this before? What would their motivation be? Do they joke around a lot? Are they a sarcastic person? Like, all these things would come into consideration. However, none of this happened, and like this has just been this whole dog pile, and I really haven't had a chance to say anything about it. And I just, figured before you get real deep into the stream, I'd hop on. I don't see Forethought. I guess he's not coming, so I don't know. And
did you ever respond to the post when he responded to your post in the subreddit?
I responded to the first post, but I didn't even look after that, because it's like, how many times can I read "you're retarded, we hate you, you're bad faith"? Da, 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 da.
Well, it seems like you made a post in the subreddit asking. You said, "What did I do to this community?" You made the post, and it seems like even Forethought himself responded, and then he made like a post and he linked other posts and but then you didn't respond to this, right?
Because these things here are, this is nonsense what he responded with. So the first thing he says is, you weren't joking about LilyPichu, because here's an equally moronic tweet, and he shows some fucking innocuous tweet from a couple months ago that has nothing to do with nothing. Okay, and then his next few things are like, you say nobody responds with anything but slander, and then links a couple Reddit comments. Like that's not what I'm talking about, bro. It's not random Reddit comments. It's like this narrative that's built around me, that I'm bad faith and that I'm lying, and I come in here with a secret agenda and I'm not really telling my positions, right? So that's retarded, that response. Then he says, weird how every pussy bitch orbiter, which I never said, says no one ever makes an argument. Yes, that was my point. When that's obviously not true. Every bitch orbiter hopes it's all because Destiny, quote, it's all because Destiny told you what to think, which I never said that. I never said that. So he's quoting things that I've never said, and not people obviously disagreeing with you. Okay, you disagree with me, that's fine. We can fucking hash it out. I'll never back down from a argument on something I believe in. So then he responds to when I said DGG's reputation as toxic and unwelcoming to people who disagrees with Destiny is correct, and that is my assessment of DGG. That they're very the mean that's not the problem. It's like, I've dealt with mean people before. I've been called names before. That's not the problem, but it's the vitriolic response to somebody who has never done anything to harm these people, or I've never done anything wrong on the internet, you know what I mean? I might have had a shitty take, or you might disagree with my take or whatever. And then I think he's trying to insinuate that I'm fucking anti-Semitic. Can you decipher this for me?
Well, I don't know why you're asking me. Why wouldn't you just ask him?
Okay.
I asked him though. He said he was working right now, but he'll come. He said he might be here in a minute or two, so maybe he'll.
What's your feeling on this? Is this should I just leave this alone, or wait till Forethought gets in here? What's your feeling on this in terms of content and stuff?
I think the biggest problem people have, I don't follow this too much, but I think the biggest problem people have is I think they feel like you go into other chats and you are a lot more aggressive in those chats than you are when you're chatting with me. I think that's usually the thing I see repeated the most.
Okay, I'll say, so we can address that. I will admit I'm a little less, I guess I'm a little bit more rough around the edges in other chats, right? Because when you're speaking to somebody, right, you, one, should be respectful. Two, to have a productive conversation, you kind of have to put your arguments in the most charitable way possible. I feel like if you want to have like a good conversation with somebody, if I just want to come in here and sling mud, I can just come in here and say whatever. I do have opinions about you. I do have, you know, if it's a topic talking about a certain thing, I might have an opinion about that. But I've never dishonestly portrayed you outside of this community. Like I've never, like, I don't come on here and say one thing and go into another chat and say another thing. It's usually something very specific about a very specific topic that I might have a disagreement with you on. But yeah, it's never slanderous. It's never like name calling. I don't think I've ever called you a name in another chat. I've always told you exactly what I think of you. I've told you I hate your race takes. I don't agree with like almost any of them whenever you talk about race issues. I think that was like one of the first or second conversations we had, and I explained that to you. So yeah, yes, there are a lot of things we disagree on, but I don't. If they are giving the impression that I'm talking shit about you, that's just not true. And I would love somebody to substantiate that in any way. But they won't. They'll just create a narrative, and that will just be the thing. But hopefully Forethought hurries up so I can start rambling.
Oh yeah, he said like 5 minutes, so hopefully soon.
Well, how about this? Why don't I just hop back on when he comes? Is that okay?
Yeah, if you want to, sure. Uh-oh.
What's up?
Oh, hello.
I can only take a few minutes off work. What's going on?
STVphilly. He's here.
All right. That it. All right, let me mute the stream. All right, my man at Forethought, what's up? All right, you don't have long, so let's get right to it. Okay, so everything you said here in this post is bullshit. Can you give me like the real deal here and not this whatever the fuck this post is right here?
Can you link the post?
Destiny has it up right now. Destiny, can you link them? I'm sorry, I don't have it up.
Oh,
it's the one.
I guess the primary.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, the primary thrust is just I think you're dumb, and I link some posts where people actually go through and like make some real criticisms based on like some factual statements that you make. Just because you like whine that people aren't giving you actual arguments. So I'm like, I gave you the arguments and then you just
they didn't. But those aren't actual arguments. Like I said, like that's so. My question was why the vitriol from DGG. I understand disagreements, right? If you disagree with me, that's understandable. That is not a problem. But these slanderous posts about how I'm a liar and how I'm really trying to attack Lily and I really hate Destiny and all this shit that is just not true, and nobody ever provides evidence for this. Nobody ever substantiates this. It's just that they throw out, and then here comes the hall monitor coming, with his opinion, right? And everybody sucks you off on Reddit because you're Forethought. You're the mod, and nobody's gonna go against you. And now you're here, and you're like, oh well, it's everybody else's opinion, dude. No, what you tell me,
notoriously
as a monitor of the Reddit that can, that's obviously sees the comments, right?
You very well-loved people.
Just tell me what's is it just you just don't like me because you don't like me? That's fine, but to call me a liar and all that, you gotta substantiate. You can't just expect somebody to just let that shit slide. Like, and you're you're up here the main cheerleader, 150 dudes. You're the guy, and now you're up here quiet.
Oh, I'm just waiting for you to finish. Are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't speak for all of DGG, but some of your posts, some of your arguments are just like kind of dumb, and that's why I go in on you. And I'm a little bit of a schizo, I admit.
Okay.
But that's my position. Is there something in
your
those,
arguments are dumb and I'm a schizo? All right.
Is
thanks,
there
bro.
something in those threads that I linked that you think is incorrect? You want to go through those?
Yeah, Destiny, could you click on the first one, please? The first so where under where it says never a point to be made. Yeah, there you go. So you linked this, so you obviously agree with this. Where's the what am I supposed to
I'm only like 20 minutes in, but he just keeps saying shit like calling someone an Uncle Tom is not racist, but calling someone a coon is. Shit like I'm not an ACAB guy, but I highly distrust police. I don't even know. He never nails down how he actually feels. He just goes, oh, well, this is what FD was trying to say. I don't know. STV just seems like he's someone who's trying to make everyone happy rather than hold a position or make an actual argument.
Okay. So first thing in that conversation, the whole point of that conversation was Wick had DM'd me about a tweet I had made and said, hey, you want to come on and talk? And so I came on and chatted with them. I don't think I ever said, no, I'm not an ACAB guy. I'm not. I've never participated in that movement, but I've had bad interactions with police officers, so I am distrustful of them. Is there anything about that statement that is contradictory or like you can't understand?
No idea, no. But just a quick question.
Okay.
Do you think calling someone an Uncle Tom is not racist?
Not necessarily.
What does that mean?
It can be used in a way that's not racist. So, for example, if I see a black man who is very his criticisms of black people seem very disingenuous or very kind of like fraudy, like he's like a grifter almost, and he sucks up to white people, that would be considered an Uncle Tom, right? Now, if you can,
and you don't think that's an attack on their race?
It's a slur for sure. It's a very negative, has negative connotations to it. I don't think it's an attack on their race. No, I think it's an attack on their perceived behavior
as a
black man. That does not equal racist. Now, if I need to walk you through that, I will. But for
please
something
to elaborate, please.
Yes, so for something to be racist, right, it has to be trying to cause harm not only to an individual but to a race of people, right? Uncle Tom is a very specific slur for a very specific type of behavior for a black person. Yes.
Don't white people make the same argument for the N-word?
Wait, do white people make that argument for the N-word? What, that it's not racist?
Literally, Chris Rock made that argument, right? That not all black people act like N-words, but some of them do.
Okay, I don't think that's a white person making that argument, but wait, is that your example, Chris Rock, and a stand-up comedy joke?
Do you see any difference between that argument?
Yeah, he said, no. Destiny just said, isn't that the argument white people make for the N-word? Meaning, white people say the N-word's not racist because of everything I just said. Is that the argument that white people make, though?
Some people could. Yeah, sure. Some people say, yeah, like I use this slur, but I'm not saying all people like this, but there's just this one guy.
Slow your roll, N-word, Andy. 1 second.
Okay.
Do you not see the parallel between his argument that he's citing there and your argument for justifying calling someone an Uncle Tom?
I see the parallel. However, we all know that these two words and the history of these two words is not in any way comparable, right? So if Uncle Tom had this horrible weight to it that has oppressed black people, or not oppressed, because I don't think, well, it's been used in a system as a way to oppress black people. The N-word doesn't literally oppress people, but it's a tool in a system that is used to oppress black people. And Uncle Tom, cracker, any other slur that you can think of probably doesn't hold the same weight. So for you to like make that argument work, you would have to show that Uncle Tom has done any sort of harm to any sort of person besides hurt their feelings, right? And two, this word would have to have. What'd you say?
How else was a word supposed to hurt someone?
Okay, like I said, the N word is a tool used in a system of white supremacy to oppress black people. It is not actually the actual word, right? It is the way that people use it to put black people in their place, right?
Does that mean like Indians can call black people the N word online? Is that okay?
Say that again?
Can like Indians call people the black word when they're being racist online? Or call, what did I just say? Can Indians call black people the N word?
No. I mean, they can, but it's not going to work for them very well. Listen.
Well, but I know it not work. I'm just saying, like, is that okay since they're not like part of a system of white supremacy?
No, I didn't say if you were a part of the system, then it's okay. If you're not a part of the system, it's okay to use. Or if you are a part of the system, that's the only reason you use it. I just said it is a tool in the system, right? Like, so that is the actual meaning of the word. Like, it is, it's a tool, right? And no, it wouldn't be okay for Indian people to use it because it still has the same history. It still has the same weight. It still has the same connotation coming from an Indian person or anybody. It's a word used to basically put black people in their place. Like, remember, you're at the bottom of this hierarchy. You are a N-word, like, and that's what you are, right?
Wait, if all of that is true, why is it okay for black people to use it in rap songs?
Because they don't say it's a different word.
Wait, but none of that matters. How you say it or none of that matters. I thought you were saying it all matters about like the context of everything.
Well, I'm talking about like ER. Like if you call somebody, when I say N-word and censor myself, I'm talking about ER, or else I just say.
Oh,
nigga.
So Indians and
I've actually said the N-word
are all okay using it with the A then?
Well, to me, I don't care. I don't. In my mind, and from my argument, it's fine, bro. You can go to my channel right now, my last YouTube video, and you will see a white boy at like 14 drill rapping, saying, "I'm gonna kill you, this, that." I did not comment one time on it, made no mention of it at all. Not one, no pearl clutching, nothing. So
say it, Steve.
I've heard Destiny say it recently. Come on, bro. Listen, if me and Destiny were like one-on-one without this, I would not have a problem. Ask my editor, bro. Ask my editor. If anybody knows my editor, he's from Spain. He regularly says to me all the time, and we've had this conversation plenty of times. So personally, I don't have a problem with white people saying that word.
Okay, now, but if I called you an Uncle Tom for saying you were sucking up to black people to tell them they can say the N-word, that's not an attack on your race?
No, that's an attack on me. What the fuck? As a black man, yeah, but that's.
Can I use that on Destiny? Can I call him an Uncle Tom?
No, that wouldn't work.
Okay.
No, that would not work. No.
Okay, but that's not a racist attack somehow.
No.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay. I think we're at an impasse here. You want to open up the other thread?
Yeah, because it's retarded. I know we're at an impasse. Because y'all all are stupid on this discourse, on this slur word discourse. Destiny, I know you don't care about the N-word, but you pretend like you do. And Forethought, you're here to
wait, when do I pretend like I do? Wait, what?
You say...
No, he cares deeply.
You say, I don't... You say, I can't... Like, I would never... Like, I don't say that word. Like, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't use it in my everyday language.
You mean when I said I would never say that right after saying it? That was probably just a joke, right?
Probably a joke, right? Okay, so... But... Right. Okay. But
wait. If you thought that,
you will argue with people about using slurs.
No, I don't. I don't care at all about slurs.
What was that whole cracker thing?
I wasn't arguing about.
What was that whole Gusano thing? What
I wasn't arguing about slur usage. I was arguing about hypocrisy.
Okay.
My issue is I don't want people that pearl clutch to call me a f***ing Gusano, and I don't want people that pearl clutch to call me a cracker. If a black guy's going to call me a cracker, I should be allowed to call him the N-word. 100%.
You should be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm not arguing for more slurs. We probably with the hard R. The hardest of R's. Yes. With 5 R's at the end. The hardest. I should be able to say it at the same time. I crack a whip at the same time while I say it. Yes.
Go ahead, bro.
But I'm just saying that if you want to argue that, that if you're going to argue that slurs are okay, then they're all okay. If you want to argue that they're not okay, then they probably should never be okay. If you want to argue that they're of varying degrees of strength, that's fair. Cracker and the N-word are varying strengths of racial slur for sure, but you can't justify some and not the other by using esoteric academic bullshit arguments. I think it's ridiculous.
Is that what I did?
I didn't say you did that, but you said, why do I care about slur usage? I don't usually care about slur. I care about people being racist or hateful. But the only reason I cared in the Cracker and Gusano discourse is it's weird that people that pearl clutch so hard over slurs are calling me a racial slur. That's kind of weird to me.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I'm not gonna, disagree with you because I actually agree with you. However, if my memory served me correctly, these were not the arguments you were making at the time. Like, you were going hard saying no, saying cracker is definitely wrong.
I don't want to get stunlocked on the N-word.
Okay.
Wait, no, wait, hold on, wait. I got a chat room with 2 black people in it. It's only January 3rd. Of course we're going to get stunlocked on the N-word. What else would we talk about? It's a new year, ladies and gentlemen. No, but hold on. Yeah, those were exactly the arguments I was making at the time. Of course. If you're going to pearl clutch so hard over other slurs, why are you so adamant in defending the slur cracker or gusano? That's retarded. Of course, that was my whole argument at the time. Do you think my argument at the time was guys, we need to... What else would my argument have even been?
Bro, you said what's his name was racist because he held up a box of crackers.
Which one? Oh, Bruce?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce is racist because Bruce is racist. Not just because he held up a box of crackers.
But that was what you were using as your proof that he was racist.
When somebody uses a whole bunch of racial slurs, in an aggressive manner, yeah, that's racist. What do you mean?
Okay, so because he said, wait, is cracker, is that what the slur we're talking about?
Yeah.
So okay. Now I agree with you that if he's using it in a vitriolic way, that that can be racist, right? But you were using you were saying that because he was saying that word so besides the and then holding up the box of saltines, what was he calling people that
yes.
People on his chat specific people?
Pretty sure he called me a cracker. Yeah, of course.
Okay, bro. Listen, I didn't know. I didn't prepare for this. This is off of very shoddy memory.
Okay.
Okay. I concede. I digress. I agree with you. All that. Now, but the main point for thought here is that is my. So Destiny, would you agree that me and you pretty much hold the same position on this usage of slurs?
I have no idea. I'm not even sure what your position was. I heard a lot of the academic meandering, so I'm not even sure.
No. My position is
basically if anybody talks about the N-word, and
there's context for everything else.
Yeah, if anybody talks about using the N-word, and in any part in that conversation they utter the words white supremacy, chances are we don't agree on anything relating to slur usage. That's my take generally. So.
Okay, can we come right back to that? Because I don't want to Forsyth said he had a few minutes. I don't want to hold him up.
Go to the next thing, sure. Yeah.
All right, and I put a pin on that. All right, Forsyth, let's go to the next thing.
Yeah, this guy says you misestimated the population of the city of Philly by magnitude of 2.
So I said 3 million, then I said, no, wait, 2 million, and the population is 1.5 million. All right, next.
Okay.
Because I immediately corrected myself. So
also the idea that there aren't gangs in Philly is ridiculous. Yeah, there ain't Bloods and Crips here, but gangs in Philly are just blocks of neighborhoods.
So please, please, DGG, educate me about gangs in Philly, please. Yes, the guy whose whole YouTube channel is about gangs in Philly. Please educate me and tell me about it. Let's go. Is this really your criticisms? Come on, bro.
This is their criticism.
I said.
You can engage with them in their threads, but now we're here.
First of all, I didn't see these comments because I don't read every comment about me. But second of all,
wait, but real quick, this was you. You posted a thread saying, "What did I do to this community?" You specifically solicited feedback, but then you got specific feedback and you didn't even click it. What was the point of the thread then?
I did read that, but no. I read that, but it's wrong. I did I didn't. What I wasn't off by orders of magnitudes. I did like. So when I said there's no gangs in Philly, yes, I was talking about Bloods and Crips. There are blocks that act like gangs, that perform as gangs. Like, you know, they functionally are the same thing basically, but they don't have the you know, long you know, history of, you know, Bloods and Crips and shit. These are like 22nd Street, a bunch of fucking 16-year-olds who hang out, start calling themselves a 22nd Street crew, and now they're a quote unquote gang. And the reason, there's a very specific reason I don't like to use the word gang. It's because the government uses, when I say the government, I mean law enforcement, they use gangs to persecute these kids, and they use it as a are gangs in Philly, like, technically. Okay, I agree with that, but that really wasn't my point. So, you know, that, yeah, that's why I don't, so the basis of my post was to understand the hatred, right? So what you showed me was like wrong disagreements, or like having my positions wrong.
In my mind, you had two separate arguments. One is, you guys are really mean to me, which I'll own that, whatever. The other one is, no one is giving you real criticisms. They were just being mean to you. I'm countering that second part.
Okay. But if the real criticisms are just having your arguments wrong, like, I think that kind of backs up my position that this is retarded. Like if you disagree with somebody, just say that, but like, don't create these things out of thin air that don't exist to disagree with me on. It's like people are trying to disagree just to disagree, right? Like, these arguments are retarded. Like, I don't hold that position about race or language or any of that. Okay. I wasn't off by orders of magnitude with my Philly population. I know there are gangs in Philly. Was there one more?
Yeah, there's one more. But you know what?
Yeah. So you agree that this is stupid, right? There's no reason for all this vitriol.
Oh no. Reason?
Like, you can think I'm retarded. That's fine, but like, our posts are like 100 comment threads necessary because of a misinterpreted tweet? Do you really think that? No. So you're here, okay? You can speak for all the autists. Did you really think that tweet is what about LilyPichu was serious?
I have no idea. I think you're fucking retarded.
But why would you use that as your first fucking thing?
Because you're retarded. I just
say, here we go. This is exact. This is where
I can't tell what you think because you have no consistent thoughts. I don't know.
This is always where we end up. You're retarded, bro. Like, you guys are a fucking joke. Destiny, you're cool, but these like, this is. I feel like
I think the issue is that it feels like, okay, so I saw it happen in real time here. Okay, I think the issue is that it feels like, you feel very, is it ethereal? Is that a real word? Extremely delicate and light in a way that seems too perfect for this world. What's like an ethereal mist?
What you're thinking of, I think.
Am I thinking of ephemeral? Let's try ephemeral. Lasting a very short time? No. I'm thinking of like a misty, cloudy, you try to like put your hands in it, you can never actually get a hold of anything, and you're kind of like moving around and it's like all over, and you're just like, yeah, it's like that kind of thing.
Okay, so you said you saw it happen in real time. Would you see? Where did you see that happen?
Well, so it seemed like you had a really strong opinion about an argument that I had in the past, because I am personally offended by or hate the word cracker. Even though that nothing relating to that. If you go back and watch every argument there, I just didn't like the double standards on the slur usage. And then you cited a specific example of Bruce just holding up a box of crackers. And you claimed that I said that was enough to call him a racist. Bruce never held up a box of crackers. He held up a piece of paper saying "dem" and then a box of crackers.
I did say that.
You didn't? I don't remember the piece of paper. Did you say that? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say that?
Yes.
Did he say that, guys? I don't remember him saying that.
I actually did.
Oh, okay. Then I just didn't hear it. Actually, I want a clip. Actually, hold on, wait, because this might just prove my point even again. Can I get a clip of him in this stream where he brought up the Bruce thing like 10 minutes ago? Somebody clip me and give me a timestamp. Because if you didn't say the paper, then you literally just did the thing again.
Okay.
But yeah, it feels like when you reference situations, you're leaving out.
Wait. What if I did say that? then are you going to take all that back?
Well, if I did, I would still not understand why you're saying all he did was say a word. And then when I said, well, no, he called people it or used it as a slur, why you acted surprised. You're like, oh, well, okay, well, if he did do that, then fine, I concede or whatever. But like, he clearly did. Like, even in this picture, he clearly did.
Yeah, but did I explain why that interaction happened like that? I said, I'm going off of fuzzy memory. This is not prepared. This was not like something I came in to specifically argue was Bruce. I couldn't even remember the man's name. So this is like, I remember seeing this clip and we were talking about you arguing about the word cracker. That came to my mind and I brought the example up. You rebutted it and I said, okay, you know what? I'm wrong.
Yeah, but I think the issue is that sometimes, I don't know why clips are turned off my channel, guys. I don't even know how to turn that on or why. If you guys can link me somewhere to turn it on, I don't know why it's turned off. I think the issue then is that what you're able to do is you're able to assemble and flow through a whole bunch of different arguments that we're all supposed to assume that all of them are correct. But then when you get called out on any of them, you fold immediately. But then if somebody doesn't know the exact fact that you're referencing, then you kind of get to, like, I guess, any of them stand tall on that argument, basically. So you can say like 10 bad claims. Good luck. Bye. You can say like 10 claims that are all false. And if somebody's like, well, this didn't happen, this didn't, you're like, oh, okay, I don't remember that. Okay, I didn't remember that. Okay, I don't recall that. Okay, I didn't know. But then if you don't know one or two things, then you're like, yeah, that's why I'm saying this. And you're like, well, me, I guess. I think that's the issue.
Okay, I heard you loud and clear. However, I think that
I
is
have
the
no
fact.
idea.
What I also think is happening is that people are like, so what you just said.
Actually,
right
wait.
now,
I need to. Can you give me like 2 minutes, real quick?
Yes.
Give me 1 sec. Hold on. Make sure what your position was. I heard a lot of the academic meandering, so I'm not even sure.
No. My position. If anybody knows my editor, he's from Spain. He regularly says,
okay, but if I called you Uncle Tom for saying you were second
as a black man, yeah, but that's
that was probably just a joke, right?
Probably a joke, right? Okay, so, but right, okay, but
wait, if you thought that,
people argue with people about using slurs.
No, I don't care all about slurs.
What was that whole cracker thing?
I wasn't arguing about.
What was that whole Gusano thing?
I wasn't arguing about slur usage. I was arguing about hypocrisy.
Okay.
My issue is I don't want people that pearl clutch to call me a Gusano, and I don't want people that pearl clutch to call me a cracker. But black guys don't call me a cracker. I should call him the N-word. 100%.
You should be.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm not arguing for more slurs. We probably with the hard. I'm just saying that if you want to argue that, that if you're going to argue that slurs are okay, then they're all okay. If you're going to argue that they're not okay, then they probably should never be okay. If you're going to argue that they're of varying degrees of strength, that's fair. Cracker and the N-word are varying strengths of racial slur for sure. But you can't justify some and not the other by using esoteric academic bullshit arguments. I think it's ridiculous.
Is that what I did?
I didn't say slurs are calling me racial slurs. That's kind of weird to me.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I'm not gonna, disagree with saying like no, like saying cracker is definitely wrong. Okay.
Wait, I got a chat room with 2 black people. It's only January 3rd. Of course, we're still not calling the N-word. What else are we talking about? It's a new. It's retarded. Like, of course, that was my whole argument at the time.
He held up a box of crackers.
What else would my argument have been?
Bro, you said what's his name was racist because he held up a box of crackers.
Which one? Oh, Bruce? Yeah, Bruce is racist because Bruce is racist. Not just because he held up a box of crackers.
But that was what you were using as your proof that he was racist.
When somebody uses a whole bunch of racial slurs, like in an aggressive manner, yeah, that's racist. What do you mean?
Okay, so because he said, wait, is cracker, is that what the slur we're talking about?
Yeah.
So okay, now I agree with you that, like, if he's using it in a vitriolic way, that
Okay, so it did just happen.
Keep going. No, keep going. Please don't cut it off.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going, but it just hurts you even more. But let me mute. I'll keep going.
That can be racist, right? But you were saying that because he was saying that word, like that like, so besides the fuck the and then holding up the box of saltines, like what was he like like calling people that, like, on his chat, like specific people?
British called me a cracker. Yeah, of course.
Okay, bro. Listen, I didn't know. I didn't prepare for. Wait, is that not what happened? Okay, maybe I didn't say paper, but I said what he said. Obviously, so I know about the paper. That's what I'm referring to. And then crack, like, Destiny.
Hold on, would you apply that standard to any other racial slur?
Wait, no. That's not the argument, Destiny. You said that I lied or that I was like presenting what Bruce said, or that I was, Could we like straighten that out first before we hop into the next thing? Because that's not true.
I'm not sure. I don't know if you clicked the link in chat after I did, and that's why you switched it to them.
What? Oh, come on, bro. All right. Okay.
Well, it's either that or you legitimately don't think holding up a sign and saying them to a racial slur is not. Which one is it? You have to pick. Hold on. Wait. Okay, yeah, sure. Hold on. You have to pick one of 2 paths right now. Okay. So either one, you weren't aware of it initially, and you thought he was just holding up a box of saltine crackers, and you didn't know why that was racist. So that's one path, and you're saying that's not the path. The only other acceptable path for you right now is then you think that holding up a sign and saying them and then a box of crackers wouldn't be like an aggressive or defensive use of a slur. Which one of those two paths is it?
The second one.
Okay. So if you held up like a f them and then you had like a King Kong thing or I don't know, the equivalent to like an N-word, or like if you had just like a picture of George Floyd up or something, would you say that's not racist? Or
yes, that would be racist. So listen.
Wait, why one and not the other?
Because using the word cracker does not make you racist.
Hold on, wait. Who's arguing here that using the word cracker makes you racist?
Nobody, but like that was the first part of my sentence. I'm about to finish it. So,
okay.
Using the word cracker does not make you racist, but if you add things in there, right?
Like them?
Well, I think it would have to be a little bit more than that, because you don't understand like black culture and stuff. I'm not making the argument that black people don't like know that it's not racist, but black people don't use cracker as a way. Like now I understand
bullshit. This is bullshit.
I understand that it is offensive. I understand that people like will be offended by it. I understand that it is a racial like slur. Okay, but does it make you racist for saying it? Or if I say F these crackers or F them crackers?
Yeah, it does. As much as any white person saying F these N-words. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So now you're equivocating those two words, and there's where the disagreement always comes in. First of all,
stop. Hold on. First of all, the word you're looking for is equating, not equivocating. But I'm equating those. I'm not equating those two words. I'm equating the categories of those two words. For instance, if somebody says the category being racial slur, and if you say fuck them, racial slurs, it would make you like that's probably a racist statement. Yeah. Same way I would say if somebody says I'm gonna go punch you, and somebody says I'm gonna go stab you, I would say wow, both of these people are making violent threats. I'm not equating punching with stabbing. They're just in the category of like attacking somebody.
Right, but one would make you a murderer and one would just make you an assaulter. Like the result of these two.
Okay, I mean, if you want me to change it, I can change it from one says I'm going to go flick that guy in the forehead, and the other guy says I'm going to go punch that guy in the shoulder. They're both different actions, but they're in the same category of attacking somebody.
True, but do they do the same damage?
I never said anything does the same damage.
Would you hold the same weight for both of them?
I never said that. Holding the same weight doesn't mean anything. It's just the fact that both of these. No, I didn't say, wow, calling someone.
So if I went and flicked somebody in the head, right? No, let's use the second one first. If I went and punch somebody in the head, you'd be like, wow, you're a violent guy. Like that was fucking violent. If I go flick somebody in the forehead, you're not going to be like, wow, you're a violent guy. You're going to be like, why'd you do that? Like,
no, I'd probably say pretty similar. If you walked up and flicked a stranger in the forehead, yeah, I'd probably say, you're kind of being violent. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. No, you wouldn't. Yeah.
Keep in mind, a jury just acquitted a dude who shot a guy who was approaching with a cell phone saying, you're a file. So that guy didn't even touch the dude. He got shot for it, and the jury acquitted him. So yeah, if you walk up and flick random people in the forehead, what do you think is going to happen? I'm sorry, hold on. I'm a retarded white kid. You're a black guy. You tell me, if I were to walk up in Miami to a black dude on the street and his friends and flick one in the forehead, do you think he'd be like, wow, you sure are goofy, kid, LOL? What do you think he would do?
It depends on the person. Most likely he'll punch you, but
yeah, exactly.
Might ask you what the fuck you're doing. Okay, but so what? All right. So, but if you get arrested for those two things, would you get the same sentence? You think?
Probably not. Just like how calling somebody the N-word is probably a little bit worse. Calling somebody the cracker word, but like both are still racist.
Okay, both are assault, right? And one most likely will get you a felony, and one will get you a misdemeanor.
I don't think that's how that works at all.
I'm absolutely positive that if you punch somebody in the face and damage their face enough, you will get a felony assault charge. If you flick somebody in the forehead, you're not going to get a felony assault charge. I'm 100% positive of this. And the point of me saying all that is, yes, these are both technically violent assaults.
Yeah.
Yes, cracker and the N-word are both technically racial slurs.
Yeah.
But if the person doing it, you need more information to say, oh, this guy's racist, right?
Probably, yeah. But I can say, I'm not trying to ascertain if a person is racist. I'm just saying it's a racist action. Saying f these crackers is racist, the same way that saying f these N-words is racist. Those are both racist actions. Maybe the person's just mad. Maybe they're not truly racist. Maybe they're just like having a bad day or some shit. I don't know. Maybe they're having a Kramer moment. But like, they're both racist. And like, I mean, when I say they're racist, those actions, both of those actions are racist.
Okay, but you said Brucey was racist, right? But
well, yeah, because he's not because
he was calling people in his chat. You also said he was calling specific people that, so that lends more to your argument. But that
why does calling a specific person a racial slur? I would think, if anything, that's less racist than calling a whole group of people a racial slur.
So, well, yeah, no, but it shows that you like if you're like using that slur against people, right? Like against somebody, like calling them that word. Yeah, I think it. Listen, I'm not trying to die on the hill of the cracker isn't racist. My whole point was that your argument is that, you know, racial slurs, you know, it's not always, you're not racist always if you use them, right? You said that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the train of thought I was following me and Forethought was talking about.
Sure, but it's just weird that you would bring up Bruce, who got banned from Twitch for using cracker in an aggressive way, and then as soon as he got banned, he went on Kick and he said "fuck crackers" in an aggressive way. Like, why would this be the guy we would defend as the go-to?
Well, why are we arguing over something I conceded over 10 minutes ago? And you were using me conceding as that I'm.
Well, because when you first brought up the Bruce thing, you made me sound like a retard. You're like, why are you mad at this guy just for holding a box of crackers up on stream? And then apparently 20 seconds later, now maybe
using the word for using the word cracker, like for using it, like there's so the argument was that for saying that word, for using that word, you are racist, and you were saying that wasn't your argument. I said, well, what the first thing that came to my mind was the Brucey thing, right? Now you were saying he was racist, right? And your proof of that was that he said them crackers. And my thing is that you would need, like, you that does not automatically make you racist, just like saying Uncle Tom does not automatically make you racist.
Sure, that's never been my argument, but okay, I don't know what we're.
Remember, Forethought was here. Remember that, like, that was trained into like that was part of a bigger conversation, which I already conceded. So to keep arguing about this is actually pointless. But however, there is something you did say. You said that is one in a list of 10 things that, you know, people have said, and you just deflect. And this is happening right now because I'm being honest with you. I'm trying to give you my arguments and my takes, and you're like, no, you're flip-floppy, you're not strong enough in your arguments, when really, like, if I'm wrong, I'll just say, you know what, that actually wasn't a good example, I was wrong. We probably agree more about the usage. We just got to find where we disagree. That's how I feel. But to other people, it feels like I'm coming in here and being bad faith, or like I'm being retarded, or any of that stuff. Okay, but so just we put a pin in something. Could we get just real quickly before I go? Could we get back to that?
Sure.
You said anytime you hear white supremacy, you kind of like, what would you say, you dismiss their argument, or like you don't take it as seriously or something?
Yeah.
Now, is it just like the word white supremacy, or is it like the kind of leftist narrative around it, or like what bothers you about
anytime
that
I
word?
hear somebody say white supremacy, I feel like they're about to take me through the most retarded Willy Wonka factory ever to explain why some forms of like racism coming from minorities is actually okay. That almost always happens whenever I hear somebody use white supremacy when describing anything about slurs or racism.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So like, you mean like online, like people that just like regular people online, or like academics, or
sometimes even academics. Academics probably less likely to do it, but even for academics, probably.
So all right. So just real quick, when I describe white supremacy, or when I think of white supremacy, I think of the kind of ever-present system. All right, so like when I think of white supremacy, I think of systematic racism. I think of institutions that have been set up over the years to mainly benefit white people, right? So banking, housing, education, all those big three institutions, criminal justice. These three institutions have been proven by data over the years to overwhelmingly, disproportionately benefit white people. And for that to not be by design, you would have to convince me that, this whole hierarchy of this country. It just was.
I don't really care about any of this. None of this has anything to do with slur usage. And if any of this mattered, or if any of this was relevant, if any of this mattered, and if it's, why is it that African immigrants are allowed to say the N-word? They're not affected by any of that.
What do you mean they're allowed to?
As in if Abba came in here and said the N-word, would you be fighting him on it?
No, just like if you said the N-word, I wouldn't be fighting you.
That's your evading. That was a weasel answer right there. Do you understand?
I said no.
Hold on. I'm not asking you personally. I'm saying, would you apply this argument that you just used to him? What you just said was a weasel. You said that because of all these pervasive forms of white supremacy, this is why black people in the U.S. are allowed to say the N-word. So my response is, okay, well, what about African immigrants? Why can they say the N-word? They're not affected by any of those things.
I didn't say because of white supremacy, black people are allowed to use the N-word. I said,
well, what does any of the white supremacy thing that we just said, what does that have to do with anything relating to slurs or racism?
It has a lot to do with it, because when you use like the ER, the N-word with the ER, that is a tool that has been part of these systematic. So it's been a tool to enforce these systematic schemes. I don't know. I don't have a better word for it. The way that white people. Okay, so like when the N-word was in heavy usage in the United States, would you agree that it was mainly used to remind black people that you're just at the bottom and you'll never be anywhere close to like so if a white person was calling a black person that, like,
I think that we can talk about things like 100 years ago or 200 years ago if you go back to slavery.
Not even that long ago.
Here's a guess that I would have. Over the past 50 years, if you were to take all the prolific N-word sayers in the United States, my guess is going to be they're going to be most concentrated around the areas of society that have the least ability to enforce racism on fucking black people. It's probably going to be the poorest and stupidest white people that aren't in charge of the banks and aren't in charge of Hollywood and aren't judges or prosecutors. That'd be my guess. I could be wrong. I'd be curious to see data showing the opposite. But no, probably the more you say the N-word, the less likely you are to ever be part of like a powerful white supremacist system. The higher the chance you are that you probably have at least two relatives that are missing at least 10 teeth from the fucking meth lab that you and your fucking cousin, who's also like directly related to you because your dad fucked his sister, that they're running out of their meth lab in Iowa. Like, I don't believe that. No, I don't think that the N-word is an important part of white supremacy. I think that like the laws on the books and slavery were important parts of white supremacy. I don't know if the N-word was an important part of white supremacy. And to say that even today it is, I think that's stupid. And I think it's a cope. And if it was so important and all this history was such a big part of it and all of it was brought up every time it was said by anybody, even if they can't like enforce white supremacy, then rappers wouldn't say it so much and black people would care if they said it a lot, and they don't generally. So no, I think it's all a big cope. I think it's like a bunch of dumb, really crazy, retarded social rules we have around it, which we follow because we have to, but I think it's all stupid and it's like childish and dumb in my opinion. And I'm wholly unconvinced by the weird esoteric, like, here are the like historical arguments for why it is the way that it is, but then like apparently African, like, why the is Myron allowed to say the N-word? Nobody questions him. The dude's an Arab. Like, why the is Myron saying the N-word on Fresh and Fit? Like, none of it makes sense, and to pretend that it does, I think, is to engage in collective delusion, in my opinion.
So what you just did right there was you strawman the out of my argument. All right, you took what I said and created this whole strawman to argue against, and yeah, like it even isn't even a straw man, because I think technically the definition of straw man is taking the weakest part of somebody's argument, but you just made up a argument. Like, I never said that the usage of the N-word was a strong part of white supremacy. I never said that it was even a major part of white supremacy. I said it was a tool, and I repeated this word probably like 8 or 9 times. I said it was a tool used.
Well, then why?
One
then why
of
is
many,
it? Well,
many tools used to enforce white supremacy. I never said it was a major part of it. Or
okay, so then if an Indian comes to the United States,
made up a fucking argument to argue with. Why do you do that? You just made that shit up. I never said that, bro. And you just went on this whole 10-minute rant, and I just let you go. I was listening to you about some shit I never even fucking said. So like either you're purposely trying to misunderstand what I'm saying, or you have no ability to have this conversation, bro.
Okay,
like,
if it's a super weak part of it, then why the even bring it up. It's not, if it's an inconsequential part, if it doesn't make that big of a difference.
I didn't say it was weak.
Okay, it's not weak. It's not strong. What is it? What percentage of slavery was enforced with the use of the N-word?
I've never said slavery, bro. I've never said
what percentage of white supremacy is enforced by the usage of the N-word?
Today, probably not a lot.
Give me a percentage.
Probably.
I could ballpark.
Today, like probably close to 0.
Okay, 100 years ago, how important was the N-word? Or 200 years ago, how important was the N-word in maintaining slavery? 100 years ago, how important was the N-word for Jim Crow?
Shit. I'm trying to think of how to so just like off the top of my head, probably like 15 to 20%.
Okay.
So like the usage of it, like I said, was used by not just like hillbillies missing 10 teeth. It was used by everybody to put black people in their place and to remind them that, you know, like this country is ran by white people and you'll never be nothing in this country. You'll never be anything but an N-word. And that it was a very strong and powerful tool, because when black people would hear a white person say that, like to their face or call them that, you know, like the odds of something bad happening goes up exponentially. So it was very dangerous to hear that word, and it was a very effective tool in the toolkit that racist white people used to. Now, when I say racist white people, please don't hear that as white people are racist.
No, I'm the white people that were racist. I got you.
Yes. Okay. It seems I have to make myself super duper clear here, or else like it'll be the most bad faith interpretation ever. Yeah. So as far as what you said about you know, the word being used today and how it's not no. Let me ask you a question about Myron. So the reason that Myron says it and he didn't get away with saying the ER, so I don't know why you keep saying like he gets away with it. He didn't. He got in trouble for that. Yeah, but if he just says it like Nigga, why? Because he looks black, bro. Like that's why it's okay. Most people don't know he's Arab. Most people don't know he's from Egypt or wherever the he's from. Where is he from?
I have no idea.
Yeah, most people don't know that. They just see him as a black man, and that's like how people work. That's how the cops will see him. They're not going to say, oh, here's an Egyptian guy. They're going to say, here's a black guy. Back in the day, here's an N-word. You know, like, it's not, this isn't super duper hard to understand, but like, yeah, like, I don't, yeah, that wasn't part of my argument, bro.
Okay, and so well, if we think that the N-word was 15 to 20% of what kept black people down 100 or 200 years ago, what percentage would you say like anti-Semitic conspiracy theories were to keep Jewish people down in like the 30s and 40s of the 1900s?
Oh shit, like 100.
Okay, well, if those were so much worse than calling people the N-word, then why were you so big on defending like Kyrie and Kanye and shit when they were promoting like anti-Semitic books?
Okay, so let's talk about that, right? How that came up was I was telling you to stop being scared to make black jokes. I said, if you just say the joke and not think that everybody's going to think you're racist, right? I think it will come off fine. Andrew Schultz does it all the time. I see white guys pull this off all the time. You just make the joke, and your whole thing was, oh, I can't make a joke back. What was his name? The angry man can call me bisexual, and he can come at me in all these different ways. And if I were to dare say something about him, it would be perceived as racist. Let alone if I do say something about his race, right? And so then that turned into black people are one of the most sensitive groups on this planet, right? And you were like, that was your argument. I said, well, no, I think there's other groups that are just as sensitive. And you were like who? And one of my example was Jewish people. Okay, so you pick y'all, whoever else was in that call latched onto that and was like, oh, Jewish people? Well, when did they do that? When does that happen? And I said, well, look at Kyrie Irving. He retweeted a movie and damn near had to suck every Jewish person in the fucking country.
Kyrie Irving wasn't making a joke.
I didn't say he was making a joke, though.
But why are you comparing it then to making jokes?
Because you were talking about sensitivity.
Yeah, everybody's sensitive to actual like hateful conspiracies, of course. But Kyrie wasn't making a joke. I don't know why everybody does this when I argue with. Hold on, everybody does this. This is so crazy because Muslims do this when I argue with them. Black people do this when I argue with them. I have this issue come up where people will say things like, "Oh, why are you so mad that like you can't even make jokes about Jewish people? Like, why do you want to be racist against black people or racist against Arabs?" And I will be joking about black people or joking about Muslims, right?
You don't joke about you don't make no.
Yeah,
Twitter
but
jokes,
the issue, first of all, I do. First of all, I do. You just don't see them. Yeah, of course.
Okay, maybe I don't.
Of course you don't. But firstly, I do. But secondly, the issue then is when I say like, oh, okay, well, here is a joke about, I was arguing with this guy, and his, I don't know, he missed a car payment, I guess, because his dad didn't pay child support again. If I made that joke to a black person or something, they'd probably be pretty mad. And you're like, oh, well, why don't you make jokes about Jewish people? I'm like, okay, well, give me a joke about a Jewish person. And you would go, well, how about the fact that 6 million people didn't actually die in the Holocaust?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the joke? That's not a joke. You understand that's not a joke, right?
Do you understand that was never said or insinuated in the movie? Did you watch the movie? No. You read headlines and articles about it. By who? Who was pushing this narrative, bro? Like you get so lost in the.
Hold on, wait. Who was pushing the narrative? Who was pushing the narrative? Wait, tell me that. Wait, answer that. Who was pushing the narrative? Wait, who's pushing the narrative?
What's that Jewish lobbyist group?
Okay, yeah. Do you understand? You're not joking. Do you understand what the comparison there? You're not joking when you say these things. You really believe these things.
Destiny. Do you know what Kyrie Irving had to do for that tweet?
Tell me what he had to do.
Okay, first of all, he was suspended for like 15 games or something, so he lost damn near $1 million, probably a couple $1 million in income. He had to do like 60 hours. I don't remember all the exact terms, but it was like he had to meet with all these Jewish organizations, or maybe it was just one. I'm saying all these, but he had to meet with Jewish organizations. He had to like meet with different owners of the league to ensure them that he understands the seriousness of his fucking transgression of tweeting a conspiracy book or movie. Yeah, and then when he was asked about it, like he never ever has said anything anti-Semitic or has like ever given an answer other than like basically I don't want to talk about it, or I love all people, or I have no hate in my heart and stuff like that. And he had to go through unprecedented amounts of like punishment to play basketball again for a fucking tweet. And my point is that whole narrative of this movie is evil was started by what's the one that Elon always goes after?
I don't know.
The one that cancels people all the time.
I have no idea.
The ADL. Thank you. Somebody in chat said it.
So somebody said that this is, and I haven't watched this movie. Maybe I need to better understand Kyrie's position. Okay. So,
this is not his position. It's not Kyrie's position,
he retweeted,
bro.
Sure, but he retweeted a movie, a documentary called Hebrews to Negroes. Okay. Yes. Do you know what this movie's about?
It's like Black Israelites. Yes, I know.
What is the movie? What are Black Israelites? People talk about Black Israelites. What are they talking about when they say that? What does that mean?
Anti-Semitic shit. They're talking about black people are the real Jews.
Correct.
And yes, I know.
Isn't part of the underpinning? You can tell me if I'm wrong on this. This is my understanding. Isn't part of the underpinning? No, not bad, but like literally says things like the Holocaust didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so then why are you upset when I said earlier that Kyrie was tweeting about like Holocaust denialism when he's promoting this movie?
That's not what that wasn't my argument. My argument was if everybody gets offended by different, like everybody gets offended.
Wait, offended by what? Offended by what?
Whether it's Jewish people and fucking conspiracy theories.
No. You're comparing apples to oranges. Who's getting offended by? Kyrie wasn't tweeting a joke. He was tweeting
I never said he was.
Okay, he was tweeting a documentary that says that like the Holocaust didn't happen.
But that wasn't okay, there was a fleeting, like, it did say that in the documentary. I don't know if the exact words were the Holocaust didn't happen, but
it says, okay, it doesn't say that. There are 5 there's 5 parts of the thesis of the big lies that Jews tell. 1 is that Jews are Israelites and thus God's chosen people. 2 is that Jesus was a Jew. 3 is that 6 million Jews were killed in a Holocaust during World War II. 4 is that all races are equal, or that all are brothers. And 5, that the Jews are just another religious group. Those are the 5 big lies that are mentioned in the documentary of the film.
The movie wasn't, the documentary wasn't anti-Semitic. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying that for simply tweeting out the documentary without any idea if he realized, like, if he had the understanding of how, like, bad this was, right? Like, Kanye West, that's inexcusable. There's no room for interpretation there.
Wait. You're saying with Kyrie, he just happened to tweet out a documentary called Hebrews to Negroes, and he doesn't have any obligation to know what the film is about?
Kyrie tweets shit all the time, and he says weird shit.
If Kyrie tweets a video of, hold on.
If Kyrie tweets, sure.
If Kyrie, sure. Is Kyrie allowed to tweet child?
That's illegal, bro. No.
Okay. If Kyrie tweets rape threats, or why would you use the defense? He tweets stuff all the time. What does that even mean? Why would you even say that in response to it? He tweets stuff all the time.
Why would he tweet this movie?
But you said that as a defense of me asking, why would you tweet like an anti-Semitic film? Is that a defense that you tweet stuff all the time?
Do we know that he understood the meaning of that? Because it's not like this movie was dripping in anti-Semitism. Yes, like if you okay. So now it sounds like it does sound like I'm defending him. Listen, Kyrie Irving
literally said later
is anti-Semitic. Let me get this straight. He's a black Israelite. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. And he says I can't be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. So
we don't know, bro. Well, that's my point. Is we don't know, and we cannot take a tweet and then say, okay, this person is anti-Semitic. That is very consistent with every argument I've made thus far. It's not inconsistent with anything I've said. I grant you that he probably is anti-Semitic. He probably is, like, I think he is a black Israelite. Like, I don't know the dude's whole history, but the reaction to it is what I'm talking about. The punishment is what I'm talking about. The punishment does not fit the crime.
Okay, can you give me an example where another thing like this happened, but towards black people or something, and they didn't get punished for it? Didn't Mel Gibson lose his entire fucking career just for calling some black people the N-word? Wasn't there a Jewish basketball team owner who lost his entire NBA team because he used the N-word or whatever? Like, these are way less crazy than Kyrie's tweet. These are people losing like whole swaths of because of the use of the N-word. Donald Sterling was the guy I was thinking of. Yeah, like where is your example of like people, like your example? You'll point out shit like this for Kyrie and defend it, and you go, well, what about this one time somebody made a joke once or rapped the N-word and he didn't lose all of his shit? Like, it's not even remotely comparable. Like,
okay, let me make myself very clear. In America, you have the freedom of speech. Okay, you have to be in severe violation of these freedoms for there to be that sort of reaction.
No, hold on. Freedom of speech.
In my mind.
No. Hold on. Nothing you're saying makes sense. Hold on. No. None of this has to do with First Amendment anything. Kyrie wasn't affected by First Amendment anything. This isn't a First Amendment thing at all. I'm asking you very specifically, what are some things that people have said about black people that are comparable to what Kyrie said that you think they don't get punished for? Has this ever happened to another race for like large celebs like this that don't get in trouble?
But so right now you're trying to compare a tweet to saying the N-word?
I'm asking for anything comparable to what Kyrie did. Like, who's somebody you think like, oh, this guy did this about black people?
There isn't anything comparable. That's the point.
Then why are you saying like, well, when you joke about Jews, you get in trouble? Like it's some unique thing. Then you just attack me with that. You never make Jew jokes. I do sometimes. There's not many Jew jokes to make. But like, what do you want me to like? What are the comparisons?
I'm
asking. Hold on. I'm not asking if you want me to. That's not at all what we're talking about. I don't know why you said that. I'm asking you, what makes you think you like anybody will be held more liable for saying things about Jewish people than any other race of people?
What makes me, because what Kyrie tweeted out a tweet, right? And then he has unprecedented punishment. Like there's never been anything like this before. The media storm, the apologies, the going over like the the fact that every media personality was going overboard with the fact like of how much of a tragedy this is and how horrible of a person Kyrie Irving is. And that's unprecedented. That's never happened.
Yeah,
You're
but wasn't this
to
because
find something comparable to that? I can't. There is nothing.
Why do you think people reacted that way to him?
Because this is like right around the time of Kanye West and that whole thing. Yep. And yeah. And
okay. There was that. That's one big part of it. Yeah. So there was a whole culture of it happening. So of course people are looking at major celebs, obviously, number one. And number two, didn't Kyrie have a history of saying 20 IQ things? Wasn't he one of the big guys who was arguing for flat Earth?
Flat Earth, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
are these crimes? Are these things that you should be suspended from the NBA for? And
I'm sorry, hold on. What do crimes and getting suspended from the NBA have to do with one another?
Okay, when I say crimes, I mean, are these like things that are punishable? Like, I'm sorry,
the flat Earth thing, probably not. Being anti-Semitic or racist, almost certainly. Who is the white guy that I talked to several times on the Scuff podcast that used the term? That's anti-Jewish. He didn't even know. I don't even think he knew that was a fucking racial slur. How many games did he get suspended for in the NBA?
I don't know, but like, what? So what happened? I don't know. What you're talking about.
If you're a celebrity and you're racist,
but who said and got suspended from the NBA?
Oh, Myers Leonard. He was on a Twitch stream playing games. He seemed like a nice guy. I don't know what.
I think he got tossed out of the league. That's a race. That's a slur. Like that. That's so. I don't think I'd put that on the same like level as a tweet that is tweeting out a conspiracy theory video.
Hold on. Right? You think the slur is worse?
Sitting on Twitch calling, I don't know if he called somebody or he's just saying that word. There's no way he didn't know what it meant. Come on, that's bullshit. But second, is it worse? Probably not worse. Like, but it's not. Both things are. I don't think you should be punished heavily for either thing. Like, I think.
So you don't think celebrities should be punished if they're racist or hateful?
Did I say that?
Well, you just said you shouldn't be punished for using a racial slur or for tweeting Holocaust revisionist documentary. I mean, what do you? Well, yeah. What
Myers Leonard got kicked out of the league. I don't think he should have got kicked out of the league. I don't agree with that punishment. I don't agree with Kanye West's punishment of.
Well, I don't know what we're talking. We're not talking about Kanye West. We're talking about Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving. I don't agree with Kyrie Irving's punishment. And the whole basis of this argument was who's sensitive and who's not. People are sensitive in different ways. People take things differently. Like maybe Jewish people.
But I'm just asking for evidence of the sensitivity. Because the thing that you disagreed with me initially was I said, initially, the argument you got some out a while ago is I think that black people online are some of the most sensitive people online. And you got really upset when I said that. And I was like, oh, well, who do you think is more sensitive? You're like, well, Jews. I'm like, okay, well, give me an example of that.
And women, and I said a bunch of other things, but you honed in on the Jewish thing for some reason. And something that had just happened at the time was the overreaction to the Kyrie Irving tweet. So I brought that up. That wasn't in defense of Kyrie. That wasn't like saying what he did was okay. That wasn't any of the other fucking dumbass arguments I've seen about this. Like, you know, that I was trying to like secretly say that what he did was okay. That wasn't my argument. Like, and you know how to keep up with an argument. So I know you understand what I'm saying. I do think that Jewish people are overly sensitive about conspiracy theories, perceived conspiracy theories, jokes, slurs, all that stuff.
Now, you're throwing all of these together, but have you given me, is there an example of somebody making an anti-Jewish joke that gets suspended or something happens?
Okay, maybe not so much getting suspended or getting in that much.
Okay, so then let's focus on the conspiracy theories.
They do.
Do you think? Hold on. Do you think if Tom Brady tweeted out a link to a book that talked about how slavery makes black people better because they got to come to America, do you think Tom Brady would get in trouble for that?
That's it depends on what you mean by trouble. They'll probably make him apologize, but nothing more than that. I don't think.
You think if Tom Brady tweeted out a book about how black people are better off for slavery because they got to come to America, you think nobody would care? You don't think he would get a ton
people would care?
You don't think he wouldn't get like either suspended or forced to apologize or get a ton of like blowback, maybe lose sponsors? Like,
he might lose sponsors. He might get some blowback, but I don't think he would get punished by the NFL. Besides making him apologize and like.
Hold on. When you say make him apologize,
they wouldn't suspend him for fucking 8 games.
Wait. Why was Kyrie suspended for 8 games?
Because he tweeted out that movie that we're talking about.
Wasn't Kyrie suspended for something because he refused to apologize?
Yeah, but what is he apologizing for?
Well, hold on. So if Tom Brady refused to apologize, he'd probably get suspended too.
So I'm trying to remember the exact order of events of the Kyrie Irving thing.
Well, he refused to apologize, and then he made further comments about I can't possibly be anti-Semitic because I know where I come from, implying that he has watched the film and he agrees with the premise of the film, and he thinks that the Jews today are fake Jews, and he's a real Jew.
Okay, so do you agree that he should have got suspended from the NBA and made to go apologize to all these people that had nothing to do with this?
Sure. Yeah.
You do agree with that?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Well, I disagree, and I don't think that. Then that's I disagree.
Okay. So do you think that people like Tom Brady then should be able to tweet out black people, slavery was a good thing because look at the NBA and the NFL. Look at how good these black people are doing.
Should he be able to tweet it out? Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you mean? But is he going to get in trouble? First of all, what do you mean by should he be able?
Should he be able to do it without getting in trouble? Should he be able to do it? Should he be able to do it without getting in trouble by the league?
If they find him or something like that, or ask him to apologize.
Stop saying ask to apologize because that's what they did with Kyrie. They asked him to apologize.
Okay, so if they asked him to apologize,
and you didn't like that. You said that's bad.
And he didn't apologize.
It
was because these are two different things. If you're tweeting out something, then you can't then say oh well, look guys, I'm not racist or anything. The tweet in and of itself it says all it needs to say. So there is no
I feel like you're not engaging. I feel like this conversation was for an hour. You're not actually engaging with anything I'm saying. You're trying to find the most esoteric way to grab onto parts of my sentence to try to argue your way out of it. I think broadly speaking,
argue my way
hold on, wait. I'm just gonna let me just state a broad. Let me state a broad thing, and then you can answer broadly because I don't know where you're grasping at such weird stuff. Well, what do you mean when you say
brain, bro?
No? It's not debate brain. No, you're debate brained right now, Mike. I'll state my whole point, and then you can respond to your whole point without this weird because hold on. What's more debate brain than well, should he be able to tweet it out? Well, what do you mean? Do the laws of physics allow him to tweet it out? Well, obviously we know what we mean when I say should he be allowed to tweet it out. We're talking about free from repercussions. That's pretty obvious what we're talking about, right? So here's my thesis. Okay. Athletes get paid a lot of money for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons is because they're role models to children. Okay. Kids all over watch these NBA players, NFL players. They want to grow up. They want to join these sports. These guys get paid a lot of money to represent brands, represent companies, and arguably they're ambassadors to the leagues that they're a part of. They're ambassadors to the NBA. They're ambassadors to the National Hockey League, to MLB, all of these things, right? These guys, because they get paid this huge amount of money to be in the camera in front of so many people, probably should be held to some kind of behavioral standards when it comes to representing themselves and the brands and the leagues that they represent. So you probably shouldn't be tweeting out racial slurs or hateful speech or raping or murdering people because it makes you and the entire league look bad, and all the kids that really look up to you are kind of getting weird signals when those are the people they're looking up to. That's why you probably shouldn't be doing hateful shit or tweeting it out or promoting it, broadly speaking, okay? Go ahead.
Okay, what was Kyrie Irving's punishment? Was it just a suspension of a couple games? What do you think the excessive part that people are talking about is?
Well, the issue was probably that I don't know if he was initially punished or if it was that he was asked to apologize and then he doubled down on it and then tripled down in an interview. I think that was the issue.
It was very irresponsible. I agree. But
what does that? Why would you say that? It's very irresponsible. Why would you even say that?
But because he did agree, because he did apologize, because you'll cut somebody off at a comma or a period and then ask them why you don't.
Because you're responding to random things, trying to hedge an argument that nobody's even arguing against.
I responded to what you just said.
But you're saying it was irresponsible. I'm not asking if it's responsible. That's not even what we're talking about. That'd be like me saying, like, what do you think about him tweeting? And you're like, well, that was definitely something he did that was on the internet. He was probably in front of a keyboard when he tweeted that, for sure. Okay, like, what is the point? Yeah, you're just like bringing up like random shit. I'm not asking if it was responsible or irresponsible. I'm like, broadly speaking,
again, it was part of a broader thought, Destiny. Like, just I'm really asking you to relax. Like, it was part of I didn't even get the sentence out. Like, okay, so in my view, like, he should have apologized first, but he didn't. So here's what happened. He did eventually apologize, but it wasn't just an apology, right? So he got suspended for the games, and then there was like a whole like thing he had to do. Like, so I just looked it up. Apologize/condemn movie, 500K donation to anti-hate causes, sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with the ADL/Jewish leaders, meet with Joe Tsai, the owner of his basketball team, to demonstrate understanding. That is unprecedented to make a million dollar athlete do. Do I feel bad for him? No. Like, he should have apologized, whatever. But my broader point is that anybody looking at this situation can tell that this is out of the ordinary. And
okay, when you say out of the ordinary, and when you say unprecedented, can you give me anybody else that did something similar to him?
To tweeting out the movie, so
tweeting out some kind of racist conspiracy or some conspiratorial anti-black, anti-Asian, anti-Jewish, anti-whatever.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, but you're saying unprecedented has never happened before, like,
because I remember at the time looking into it and
what, by other racist black people or other anti-Semitic black people? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean looking into it at the time? Like,
do you think I'm racist or anti-Semitic?
Maybe, I don't know.
Wait, but what would give you that? Like, so this is what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean maybe? Like, what have I said to lead you to believe that? You're saying, like, what, from other racist and anti-Semitic black people?
The collection of opinions that you have, like, all feel like they come from highly anti-Semitic places. Yes. That's like something where you get all of your opinions from.
Kyrie Irving's punishment was unprecedented.
Yes, and crazy and horrible. Because if we were talking about any other race of person, talking about any other type of conspiracy theory, every single person, you included, would be looking at me like, oh, duh. If a black player got online and they tweeted out the reason why Mexico doesn't have like a good Olympic team is because any Mexican that can run, jump, or swim is like already in the United States or some shit. And he was like, whoa, bro, $500,000 fine. You need to go talk to the San Pueblo tool, whatever bullshit, and you need to take sensitivity training. Everybody like, yeah, obviously. Why the f did you tweet that out? What a stupid tweet. No shit, you're going to be doing sensitivity training. You're going to get a fine, and you're probably going to be suspended for 2 or 3 games. Obviously, right? But because it's a Jewish person, and because it's a black person, now you're like, oh my God, just because he tweeted out Holocaust revisionism and then doubled down on it in an interview, he got suspended in a game and he's got to do sensitivity training? Like, what a retarded thing to say. Yeah, no shit. You'd probably have to do that if you were if you worked in any large company, you'd probably have to do that. No shit. That's like such an obvious thing, and you're like, unprecedented. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, fine. If it's unprecedented,
so
can
obvious,
you show me?
When has it happened before? If it's so obvious,
because I don't know if anybody else has been. Because I don't know if any other group of people have been so emboldened, okay, by other people to be so fucking racist and hateful, like black people are in the United States right now, that they've had the gall or the audacity to go online and tweet anti-Semitic shit like that and think that they were above it. I don't know if any other group of people have been so emboldened and so powered and had so much smoke blown up there as they could get away with it. But maybe there have been. That's why I'm asking you to show me. Has any other athlete gone on and tweeted some crazy black or anti-Mexican or anti-Asian or whatever conspiratorial shit and just gotten a slap on the wrist and nothing happened? That's my question. I don't think it has happened, and I agree with you, but it's because I think most of them are smart enough not to tweet something that's fucking retarded. That's my question.
I think we're at an impasse because I've already said that this has never happened before. So no, I'm not going to be able to give you an example of.
Okay, well, if it's never happened before, then you agree that calling it unprecedented punishment is a stupid charge because, of course, there's going to be an unprecedented punishment for an unprecedented action, right?
So that tweet was unprecedented. Like there's never been an athlete to say a racist thing or do something like that's considered like very 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 bad in our society, and just didn't get away with a fine or a couple.
That's what I'm asking you. You're the one that said it was unprecedented, meaning you should have the historical context.
I do. I've there's been plenty of times that athletes have said racist things.
And haven't gotten in trouble for it?
No, has never gotten like this amount of like punishment for it.
How many of those athletes have said a racist thing and doubled down on it? Because usually when they say a racist thing, usually they apologize immediately. They probably do some sensitivity bullshit. They pay a fine and they're suspended for a game or two.
Okay, so
just name one. I just want one. Like, what's one or two that like people that have said something that that get in that if they said a racist thing and like nothing has happened or whatever. You keep bringing this up over and over again, but you have no examples. I'm just asking for one.
Okay, there was that announcer that said the N-word, that baseball announcer that said the N-word on air like twice, and he got, I think he got suspended and brought back or something. But yeah, that was like quietly swept under the rug. Hold on, from offense. Here, check it. Hold on. So let's see.
Clipper was talking about a visit to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Okay. The A's announcer, Glenn Cooper or whatever.
The A's, that sounds about right. Yep.
So it sounds like one, he apologized immediately. Number one. Number two, sounds like it only happened one time. And then number three, he got fired. After a 20-year broadcasting career. He was permanently terminated just for saying the N-word. If anything, this supports my argument that black people are fragile. Was that what you were trying to do with this example?
Well, I'm trying to, off the top of my head, think about a racist incident where the repercussions it didn't seem as severe as Kyrie Irving. But not only the repercussions, but the whole media storm around it just seemed very like drummed up. Like it didn't.
You want to know what a big media storm that I remember that was so much not as bad? Like when popular athletes are involved in weird shit, yeah, there's a huge media storm. You know which one I remember growing up? I don't know if there's ever one as big as, and maybe I just don't follow sports as much, so maybe there one I missed it. You know what the biggest media storm I remember was about an athlete? It was when Tiger Woods got caught cheating on his wife. I think that they literally made like Super Bowl ads or whatever about this. I remember there was one with was it James Earl Jones voiceover or whatever of like Tiger Woods like looking sadly into the camera, and he was like, "Do you regret what you've done?" Like that was crazy. The Tiger Woods cheating scandal, and that was just him cheating. Like how many? Like 95% of athletes probably cheat on their significant others. That was a crazy time. So yeah, it is the idea that when you got huge athletes and people are looking at them, and you tweet it and saying and do crazy shit. Yeah, of course, like everybody's watching. What do you mean? That's like standard par. There's a reason why these guys get tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts because they're wildly influential. And the whole world has their eyes on them.
All right. I think I've been led down an argument to defend Kyrie Irving, which was not my intention. That wasn't my point.
Okay. I think that I feel like when you
remember.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to just say, like, if you just remember around that time, every single news show was talking about it, not just sports shows. Like everybody was talking about it. It was in the newspaper headlines everywhere, and like that. It just, to me, it seemed very and when I say odd, I don't mean like like, you know, I've got questions. It was breathtaking to watch this happen.
Yeah, because he literally did it off the back of the wealthiest black man in the world, the largest musician in the world, also doing Holocaust revisionist weird comments. No shit was going to pick up a lot of media traction. It was right off the back of all the Kanye West shit. How is that surprising at all?
Because why was it surprising at all? Because first of all, like I've already explained, it was a tweet, right? He didn't like. I understand the implications of the tweet. It's not lost on me. I understand it was an anti-Semitic tweet, and I've already conceded he's probably anti-Semitic. However, the standards that we hold in this country for holding people accountable seems to be shifting. Right?
Okay, and I disagree. You've said that argument over again, but you can't provide a single example of that. So the only reason you believe it is because you got that from whatever anti-Semitic websites you read that are trying to convince you. You literally said it earlier. Who pushed this story? The Jew guy. Like, bro, you're reading this off some wild shit.
Jew guy. I didn't
literally
say the Jew guy.
You literally did. You said it was some Jewish dude on Twitter that pushed the story. You literally said that.
I did not.
Okay, I misheard that. My bad. I thought
said the ADL. I said the Jewish organization.
Oh, my bad.
Which I couldn't
the Jewish
remember the
organization.
name of.
My bad. I thought it was an individual. A collection of Jews.
So wait. Does the ADL falsely accuse people of anti-Semitism?
I don't know. Do they?
Yes.
Oh,
they
okay.
do.
Were they falsely accusing the Kyrie of anti-Semitism?
What they were doing was...
Oh, no, it wasn't the ADL. It was AFPAC or something. Or no, not AFPAC or APAC or whatever. It was some fucking Jewish lobbying org, wasn't it? Isn't that what you said?
There was a couple of them. It was that, but it was... But no, I don't think it was the political one. I think it was ADL.
Okay.
I don't think it was the super PAC. I think it was the ADL.
Do you think that they falsely accused Kyrie of doing something he didn't do?
So I think by saying that he's anti-Semitic and acting as if he said these words himself, I think is setting a bad precedent, right? So it kind of puts the chilling effect on everybody else that if you have a certain belief, if you believe you're believe in a black Israelite or whatever, even though it's wrong, right? It's signaling to people that don't you dare express anything that you might believe. If you're an athlete, don't even tweet out something, a link or anything.
You understand everything you're saying
punishment.
has been par for the course for athletes for decades, right? Every single thing you're saying. All of this is normal for athletes. Yeah, you got to be careful how you present your image, what you say, of course. That's why they get paid so much fucking money for endorsement deals and everything.
I agree that you do need, athletes do need to keep a clean image, but the degree of the punishment of Kyrie Irving was excessive, in my opinion.
What was Kyrie punished for?
For the tweet and not apologizing.
Yes.
Wait, and then not apologizing in the way they wanted.
No, not apologizing at all. He doubled down. It wasn't just the tweet that he got in trouble for, because he doubled down.
How did he double down? What did he say to double down? He said
when he gave an interview, he said, I can't possibly be anti-Semitic because I know where I come from.
Okay, that's a quote in probably an 8-minute interview. I think he said a lot more than that.
Okay. Do you think in the interview he apologized and everybody just misreported it? We can go and find the interview if you want.
So he didn't say I'm sorry, Jewish people, but he did. He expressed his, he recognized that it was wrong. He said that he doesn't hate Jewish people. He didn't say I'm sorry. He didn't say those words word for word, but he did make an attempt to, clarify himself. But people just took that as, oh, this guy's anti-Semitic. He won't apologize. He just, there's this narrative pushing that he hated Jews, which, like I said, could be true, but it just wasn't proven. And then to punish him off stuff that wasn't proven, it feels excessive. That's and it does.
Wait, also real quick, hold on. Wait, why was he punished again?
Because of the tweet, because he didn't apologize.
Yes. Okay.
And they didn't. So he did speak on it, but they didn't accept it. They didn't accept his apology or his. I can't even call it an apology, but yeah. So then there's a criticism saying I'm anti-Semitic for thinking that this was a little wild what happened to Kyrie Irving. I don't believe any grand conspiracy theory.
And you keep saying that again and again. It was wild, but you can't give me a single reason to justify why it was wild. You can't give me any other example of somebody doing something where you feel like the punishment should have been greater. You can't give me a single example of somebody doing something where you just believe that for no reason. You admit that, right? That you believe this for absolutely no reason.
So are you saying that an athlete has never uttered a racist phrase or tweeted a racist thing?
Did I say that? Wait, why did Kyrie get punished again?
Because he tweeted a fucking conspiracy theory movie, and he did not apologize.
Correct. You got both parts. Now, what did I say again? What did I say again? You said, Justin, you're saying no athlete has ever done what?
Made like a racist statement and not apologize.
There you go. Have any? I'm not familiar with that. I don't know of any. If they have been, tell me. I'm curious. I'm not aware of any athlete that's made racist remarks and then they've been chided or scolded or told by the league that they need to apologize. And they're like, fuck no, I don't. I believe this. I've never heard of that before. But if they have, show me. If this happens all the time, or at least one time, well, what's an example of it? I'm curious. I don't think so. I feel like you would always get shit canned if you did that. That'd be wild to me.
Okay. I don't think. So, how about the Eagles football player that was caught on tape and saying the N-word at a concert? He was calling somebody at the N-word actually, and he was fined for an undisclosed amount and continued on with his career. There's columnists that say racist things. Let's see. I'm as we speak, I'm trying to look things up because I can't remember off the top of my head. But so we've got Riley Cooper. We've got who is that? That country singer that I forget exactly what he said like last year or the year before that. He said something that people were saying was racist and nothing. I think he lost a couple sponsors, but he's like bigger than ever now. Don Imus with the nappy-headed hose.
So Cooper said, after a video of the incident surfaced this week, Cooper apologized to his teammates. My actions were inexcusable, Cooper 25 said in a statement, adding that recent days have been incredibly difficult for me. The more I think about what I did, the more disgusted I get. I keep trying to figure out how I could have said something so repulsive and what I can do to make things better.
Mm-hmm. So if it was just an apology, why was Kyrie made to do all those other things afterwards?
Because didn't Kyrie double down? What did I say was
like a day or two, bro? This all happened in like 3 days. So like at first, yes, his first press conference he did, or not even a press conference. It was like after practice, the fucking media bum rushed him, and he was like, "Yeah, that's how I feel." I'm not like, yeah, like that's He explained what like he has the right to tweet things, like, but he was a movie he found interesting.
When you say he was ambushed by the press, his dumbass sat down to speak after a game.
Title, see if there are any documents,
and give his statements on it. This is an ambush?
After practice, yeah, with 50 reporters in your face asking you, "Are you anti-Semitic? Are you anti-Semitic? Why are you racist? Why'd you tweet that? Why'd you tweet that?" Yeah, that doesn't seem like what that's not a bum rush.
Maybe he should drop out and go work at 7-Eleven. I'm sorry, bro. You expect me to feel bad for a guy making $40 million a year that can't talk to the press after a basketball game?
But he did apologize, though.
Yeah, after doubling down on it. Talking to the media is part of your job as an athlete. This guy's probably had more media training than every person I've talked to in my life. What do you mean?
If it was just about apologizing, why was he made to do all those other things then?
Because it was after he doubled down.
We keep saying double down. Like what? Like, you're acting like he made a racist statement and then was like, "Yeah, that's right. I am racist." No, he tweeted something and then didn't apologize for tweeting it. Now maybe somebody got in his ear and showed him that he was wrong. Okay, and that process took like a couple days. Like this wasn't something that was drawn out over a month.
So athletes have morality clauses. There's just certain things they can't do publicly. If they do, it disparages the league and the likeness of the league, and so they can levy all kinds of punishments. John Morant got on camera and flashed a gun, which is his legal right, but he was suspended for way more than Kyrie was. Asked to do rehab and all kinds of different things. Why? Because it reflected very poorly on the league.
How many times did he get caught with a gun, though?
That's irrelevant. That's not the point.
It is not irrelevant because the first time it happened, he did not get fined, suspended, or any of that stuff. So it's not just like
No, it's not about the. It's not. Hold on. Just let me finish. It's not about the frequency of what's going on. It's about how it reflects on the league. What Kyrie did initially was not going to be so bad, but because he refused to apologize and he only apologized after he was suspended, the league went forth in making sure that he would not repeat that behavior again by going through those steps and processes. And because it was highly publicized, and because of the fact there was so much media attention on it, that definitely played a part part in the whole punishment. But this is normal. It's standard. What you're describing is not unprecedented. When athletes act out of pocket and then they don't apologize for what they do because of their morality clause, the league's allowed, and generally does, go very hard in regards to punishing them. So I don't know why you can say it's unprecedented. That's just not true. And there's nothing in the NBA contract that makes it sound like it's unprecedented. If it was, they probably would have taken legal recourses to actually rectify it. But they chose not to, and they accepted it because they understand that by law, everything that happened made sense.
Do you think he should have been fined, suspended, and all that stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. Any athlete posting that kind of stuff, yeah. You can't have that job and do what he did. No. Okay. Do you think athletes should be coming out fucking linking tweets to Mein Kampf and recommending it to folks so they can learn the truth?
No.
And like endorsing it? Do you think that should be fine?
No.
Do you think, okay. It reflects poorly on the league. Why would any business want to keep an employee who makes the employer look terrible? What job does that?
Okay, so I'm not saying he shouldn't have been punished, right? Like, suspend him, fine him, whatever. But the meeting with this organization, meeting with that organization, there's, hours of sensitivity training and all this other stuff, and then the flogging he got in the media as well. That's also a part of all of this. I think I can't remember an athlete getting that much like hate and fucking disdain over that. Like, was it like, I've already conceded it was an anti-Semitic movie and Kyrie Irving might be anti-Semitic, but like my whole point was Jewish people are sensitive and black people are sensitive about things, and everybody's sensitive about different things. Destiny's point was that black people are the most sensitive people, the most enraged online, when I'm like, that's not really true. We just don't have the levers of power to enforce any sort of repercussions. So all we can do is just bitch online about it, but everybody is sensitive about all of these things. And I just don't want my main point to get lost as if this was some big defense of Kyrie Irving.
My original point was just that I feel like they're sensitive around certain types of jokes, and every time someone comes up to me and challenges us to take, they'll go like, oh, what about how many people get in trouble for making jokes about Jews? And then I ask, what are some examples of this? That it's never a joke about a Jew. It's like Holocaust revisionism. People bring up Kyrie and Kanye. I'm like, bro, these guys weren't telling jokes. This is crazy shit they actually believe. And I think that, because people are using this as a comparison, but I'm saying that if people were to make similar comments about black people, you would get shit canned so fast. If you were to start tweeting out some shit about how slavery benefited black people, or black people are really good, if some guy were to tweet out of course I suck at the NBA and I'm white and I'm like a 7th pick or whatever person, I don't have the warrior gene like black people do. You think that guy wouldn't get shit canned immediately?
You mean when Rush Limbaugh said the only reason Donovan McNabb is good is because he's black? You mean like that? Or the nappy-headed hose comment he made?
Hold on. Rush Limbaugh is not an athlete. Why would that be your go-to comparison?
You said somebody, bro. You said somebody.
He keeps referencing the nappy-headed hose. Don Imus got fired right after. This is 2007, and he lost everything.
Okay, well, he said, not for the Donovan McNabb comment.
Wait, RushLimbaugh is not a sport. Rush Limbaugh doesn't work for any of the leagues. He's not a sports anything. He's an
athlete. Okay, an athlete.
No, but you need to choose something that's comparable. Someone who's an elected official is completely different than somebody who has a job who is beholden to people. You want to do something that's analogous. In the same way that Don Imus is an employee of whatever department he's working for, Kyrie works for the league. He's contracted to them. So Don Imus, the one that you keep referencing for the nappy-headed hose, literally lost everything at a time where we were much less progressive than we are today.
But I want to come in and say a couple of things. First of all, Kyrie Irving already had a history of being a piece of shit with the anti-vax stuff, which fed into a lot of why he was treated so poorly, was because he tried to pull this shit 6 months earlier with the anti-vax stuff. The other thing I want to point out is you sat there and said when people sit there, actually Stephen made the point, and glorify slavery, that they don't get pushed or that they get serious pushback. Of course they did. Look at the Florida curriculum where they were trying to say that there were positives to slavery and the insane pushback that they got for that.
Oh, and then also, oh my God, hold on. Also, I just want to say this real quick too. didn't know this. I'm sorry. Hold on. STVphilly was right. Rush Limbaugh was working for ESPN when he made the comments about Donovan McNabb. He resigned for those comments.
There you go.
But Kyrie already had a history of saying incendiary stuff with the vaccine comments, and that almost got him completely shit-canned from his team, especially being in Brooklyn, with the New York City lockdowns. And on top of that, there was already bad blood, from my understanding, between him and the management. A lot of people were saying that some of these comments were a cover for him to get traded, but because they were so incendiary, all the other NBA teams said no. So he kind of had to track back, because otherwise he was just going to basically sit and do nothing with his career from there on forward.
Okay. Once again, I just don't want my point to get lost, was that black people aren't the only ones that are sensitive.
Do you like numbers? Because I really like numbers.
What the?
I think you need to learn some numbers here. You made a point that Jews are way too sensitive about.
Wait, who's this guy again?
Discrimination or racism. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, and that's why I'm here.
They're just as sensitive as everybody else. No, the point was black people are sensitive, and I said there are other groups that are sensitive as well, like Jewish people, women, and there were other.
Jews are too sensitive. Now let me give you some freaking numbers here.
Right,
do you know how many Jews are alive in the world today? Do you know how many Jews are alive today?
Oh no!
It's
about 15. It's about 15.3 Jews.
Bro. Listen, I don't need a lecture on Jewish people, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic. My whole point was that everybody's sensitive, bro. Just don't try to fucking straw man me, bro. Like don't do that.
I think. No.
My point was that everybody is sensitive. Okay, I said Jewish people are too sensitive.
Before that.
Black people are too sensitive. Women are too sensitive. So, but we were talking about Jewish people.
Why do you think Kyrie Irving stuff is bad? Why do you think it's deeply and deserves to be gotten rid of? Why?
Because it spread.
Because he's denying an event.
Wait! Don't ask me
half the Jewish people in the world.
Don't ask me a question and then not give me.
He's denying an event.
You're not trying to have a conversation.
Half the Jewish people in the world.
I gotta look at it. Who is this? Oh, this is forethought. You're back, bro. Okay.
What?
Listen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. No, I don't need a fucking. Who are you?
I think you do. Do you understand why this stuff's bad? Do you understand that?
You asked me and I was trying to answer you. Oh my fucking God.
All right, so answer me.
Relax.
So give me the answer then. Why is it bad? Why is it bad to deny an event that killed off half the world's Jewish population?
Because it lends credence to a conspiracy that Jewish people hold the levers of power in all ways, shape, and form, and like every part of the world. And this specific one about the Black Israelites, this one is specifically dangerous because it not only is a conspiracy theory, it not only is racist, but it pushes this lie and narrative about Black people being the true Jews. And to get more Black people to believe in this or convert to Black Israelite or whatever the fucking religion is called, this would be bad for society. Yes, for all those reasons, that tweet was bad.
Yeah.
However,
and what if I told you it is unprecedented? But not in the way that you mean it.
The tweet is unprecedented?
Yeah. For a professional athlete making $40 million a year to be going and saying that, you might as well just get on there and deny. This
guy must be Jewish. He must have been Jewish. He's an
Israeli.
This is my Mossad guy. Here he is.
Slavery was good for Black people.
I don't even know who gave this guy roles.
Do you understand how insulting and how screwed up that is?
So I'll repeat it.
Might have been Soros.
It was very
Soros is mod of my
anti-Semitic,
Discord.
and Kyrie Irving probably is anti-Semitic. However, there was a very strong reaction because Jewish people have sensitivities about Holocaust denialism, conspiracies, theories, all this stuff, and they are sensitive towards that. So there was a huge reaction to Kyrie Irving. That is the point. That's what I was pointing out. I don't know how anyone's even arguing with that. The reason that was even brought up is because it was one of a few examples I gave in that call that got picked up on as if like, oh, Jews really? It's a hot button.
What percentage of the U.S. population is Jewish? What percentage?
Like probably 1% to 2%, bro. I don't know.
It's about 2.4%.
I don't look up Jewish numbers all fucking day.
Well, you might want to.
Yeah. Why? Why? I just told you the number. Why do I have to fucking look it up, bro? What the fuck? talking about?
Have you ever
Nothing you said I don't know.
Because have you ever considered adjusting per capita by hate crimes? Have you ever taken the number of hate crimes?
What are you talking about?
Do you know what adjusting per capita is?
Oh my God! Philly, I don't know who you are, bro, and what you talking about.
Philly,
yo, bro.
This is what Kyrie had to go through after he did the podcast. This is called sensitivity training, and you're going to learn about Jewish history today, so you never repeat the mistakes you've done. You understand?
I hope I don't get banned from the stream for my
I hope you know that as
transgressions.
a Destiny Orbiter, you have a morality clause, and you better know the exact number of Jews that died during the Holocaust. And why wouldn't you say fucking unacceptable?
I don't think I have a choice, bro. I'm about to learn.
Thanks, Abba. Glad I'm a fan of yours, actually.
Destiny.
I am too. I like Abba.
Sorry, hey, what's up?
Billy, listen.
Yeah. I was going to ask you. So you feel, you were saying that earlier, and I think that's what Philly was getting at. Rather than staying on this like one autistic point, I was going to ask you. You feel like black people are much more sensitive than other groups?
I feel like I was probably being pretty influenced by the communities that I was in at the time, but I feel like broadly speaking online, yeah, I do feel like there's some special sensitivity around black people that is not afforded to other groups of people. Yeah.
If you're just saying it's online, I wouldn't necessarily disagree. I feel like all groups of people are like incredibly sensitive about certain topics. Well, I wouldn't say we're the most. I think there's a couple more groups.
I think it probably depends. Like, I think these were times where I was fighting with red pill communities and the WL community, so I felt it. Like, it could be the case that if there was like a massive like woman community online that I was fighting with, maybe I'd feel like these motherfuckers are the most sensitive. Rad femmes are really sensitive, but in terms of like who exists online, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just don't see enough of other groups of people.
I think what Philly said earlier was a little bit accurate. That I think there's a lot of the ways that black people seek for restitution or deal with stuff is just online, so it feels much more present. But I'm pretty confident if you spoke about Muslims, Muslims.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, Muslims are definitely up there too. Absolutely.
It's not even close.
Yeah,
it's not even close. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if you spoke even about Arabs, and they're incredibly sensitive about their perception in the world and whatnot, but they just don't legislate stuff online the same way that black folks were.
I guess my issue with like the other groups of people, and honestly, even with Muslims, if I'm getting in trouble fighting with Muslims, it's usually because I'm going out of my way to be like anti-Islam or make jokes about Islam. I felt like with black people, just in the communities I had to tiptoe sometimes around a lot of stuff that felt like really stupid. When they would go like really hard against me, that was like kind of frustrating, I guess.
Fair. I get what you're saying.
I remember when I was when I made those initial comments about Kai, and I was like, it feels like there's like legions of like black content creators or some shit online. People like legions, like the KK. It was like I didn't even know this was like a fucking There were like so many weird things that people would grab to say, and then like all the comments of these like huge communities of black people like, oh, Destiny hates it when black people are making money. I'm like, what the. That was pretty neat. But again, it could just be because that was like a large community I was fighting with them. If there was a huge community of women, maybe it would be similar. Who knows? I'm not sure. But like generally when I fight with Muslims, I'm getting hate from them because I am shitting on Muslims or shitting on Islam. Like I am going hard against it. But go ahead, sorry.
I don't know. I feel like as an apostate, I say anything and it's the worst thing in the world.
Sure. Well, as an apostate, that's true. You literally could say anything and get fucking killed for it, babe. Because people hate that shit, the apostate shit.
Yeah, Philly, what do you think to what he just said?
So I mainly agree, but I think that I think if black people did have like the levers of power, as I was saying earlier, you might see some of the same, hard actions coming down. But yeah, I think everybody in their own way is sensitive. But to add to that, like Destiny, you are pretty sensitive about certain topics.
You're talking to the wrong person if you think that. But go ahead.
Well, not sensitive in a way like offended, but like certain things will get you like they'll get you going. Like certain topics will get you kind of riled up.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and so for black people, it like with when it comes to race, it's a little bit touchy because you don't know who's who. Like for you, for instance, like I've watched you for a lot of years, and I've like talked to you for about 2 years, so I kind of I think I can get a good feel of your sense of humor, like, and if you're joking or not, but not everybody is like that. You can't always tell. So I feel like black people get super sensitive around jokes because, like I said, you don't know who's joking and who's not. You don't know whether to laugh.
No, I think it's a virtue. I think it's a card you pull. Not you, but you in the broadest sense of black people.
Yeah.
You're kind, I mean.
I disagree with you, Destiny, there. I actually think for some people it's definitely a card they pull. For some people, they really do view most things in a racial lens.
They might. If they are, then they're racist.
They can't unsee the fact that a white person is making the comment. So for them, it filters through their lived experiences.
Yeah, that's fine. But then for some white people, they can't see a black guy whose only career paths aren't the NBA, or if they're not tall enough, being a rapper. But I would call that white person racist, right? If a black person sees me say anything about black people at all, and they're like, oh, he must be racist. Well, fuck you. What a weird thing to say. Like, if your mind is going to places when you see me talk and your first thing is like, he must really not like it when black people make money. What a weirdly specific like criticism to have of me. What an odd thing to say. I've never given any statement in my life to even imply that. So, I mean, like, yeah, I would say that that's just being racist. But black people get a pass for it for some reason online.
I put on my best FD signifier hat. What I would say at this point, that's not considering the effect of white supremacy still has to be the very real way in which black people are still oppressed. And as a result, it makes sense for them to be almost traumatized to this degree. You're essentially lambasting them for being victims.
I agree.
So but Destiny, to Abba's point, so like,
wait, hold on, Abba, were you making that point sincerely, or was that a mean point? Because
argue against it.
My argument against it was
considering the generational trauma that black people have suffered, and the fact that there's a legacy of slavery that's still, we're just talking about maybe 40, 30 years ago in a lot of ways. What would you say about that?
I think that the way that people act in response to that is not congruent with a feeling of generational trauma. So, for instance, that generational trauma argument, I think would make sense in certain circumstances. It doesn't make sense when it's used by Bruce, who's arguing against me saying, you don't understand how hard my life was. I didn't make my first million until I was 20 years old. When that guy is using that argument and there's a whole community of black people that support it, that argument looks like I wouldn't believe anybody in that community in the future if they use that argument. I would never believe that.
Can I just like real quick? Wait, Abby, were you gonna say something? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So just 2 points really quickly. So for Bruce, when I rewatched that conversation, and I could just be completely wrong here, that happens a lot. But when he said, I face a lot of oppression. I just hit my first. I made my first million at 20. What I think he was trying to say was that I just made this money. Like, I haven't been rich my whole life. So there's a whole 20 years before that I've faced, certain kinds of racism. Now, like I said, I could be misinterpreting what he meant by that, but to me, that's what it felt like he was trying to say, not like the retarded point of, I made my first million at 20, like very so unself-aware that he doesn't realize like a black man making $1 million at 20 is like fucking like 1 in a million, literally, probably worse odds than that. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think he meant something different, but I do get your point. Like, he does not have a lot. He should not have a lot to complain about right now. However,
I'm pretty sure the point he was trying to make was that other members of OTK were getting paid more money than him, and it was because he was black.
Yeah, well, so that could be true, right? I don't know the numbers of who's getting paid what, but that wouldn't be so like out of the ordinary, or like
the fact that you think this means your brain has already been like, I don't even know.
You're doing the Kyrie thing where you're defending the wrong person. So this is
okay. All right. Forget
you need to abandon the lost causes. Okay, so don't go for the Bruce example. It's a trash one that makes you.
Well, but hold on. But I think it says something. Okay, when every single argument that he's brought up, every example he's brought up has supported my side. Riley Cooper, Rush Limbaugh, Don Imus, Kyrie, John Morant, every single one that he's brought up has actually supported my argument. That some of these people apologized immediately and still got fired forever, right? So that's been like, it's been the exact opposite, even more than in my thing.
Once again, I don't want my point to get lost. My point was not that Kyrie was right or any of that stuff, or like, my point was that his punishment was unprecedented, and now maybe some can argue that his actions were unprecedented, and then I've just heard that argument. Okay, I'll consider that. However, my main argument was that like black people aren't the only ones that are sensitive. But I did have a second point I wanted to make. Like, that Bruce point was just like my interpretation of his words. Completely doesn't matter.
I think we're losing it, because right now we're on the topic of
some people. Some fans want you to turn up your mic, dude. They say it's not loud enough.
Okay, so some people. So originally we were talking about basically people being sensitive, and then we went to the topic of generational trauma. And Destiny's response to that was some people who don't have a reason to be, i.e., Bruce. Why are these people acting the way that they are? Right. So we're trying to give credent examples of that, and rather than just focusing on Bruce. So
okay,
you and I agree. Bruce is probably doing too much. He doesn't have much reason to be crying about the fact that he only made $1 million at 20. So
Agreed.
what would be a credent example for you that would lead to the whole generational trauma argument?
Okay, so yes, a lot of times, like black people, you won't hear about a lot of the racism or like little micro transgressions is a new word, like little things that we encounter on a day-to-day basis that are kind of like like innocuous, but we notice them, right? But they're not always vocalized and they're not always voiced. But the things you do hear us complain about are the overt things that we that really are the biggest problems, right? So like police brutality, racism in the housing system and the education system, or the structural racism arguments, all of that. Those are like the bigger, broader points. But one of the reasons I think black people are so sensitive is because a lot of the things that some black people face on a day-to-day basis aren't expressed or aren't complained about. We kind of just internalize that, and you internalize that for years and years and years and years, and then like it's like seeing a ghost. Like everywhere you look, it's like, whoa, is that racism? Is that not? And I try not to do it. We don't want to. Like a lot of times, like I admit there are like race grifters, race people who bait race for drama and all that. But like your average everyday black person isn't like thinking like, oh man, my life's so horrible because of this racist white system, and I can't get anywhere, and I mean, online people express themselves a little bit more, but like I don't think overall it's like black people are just sitting around like woe is me. To Abba's point about the generational trauma, I think a lot of that stuff is internalized. And
okay, here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because my issue is at some point these things become so nebulous. How can I tell the difference between a black person that is sincerely expressing something that they are sincerely experiencing or have experienced versus somebody who's just like pulling shit out of a hat to try to like win an online argument?
So the way I tell is like you gotta kind of see what you can get them to agree with you on and what they don't agree with you on. Like if you can. So, like, we can start, like, is there racism in the housing system?
No. I mean, with the person that I'm arguing with. Somebody wants to bring up, like, oh, well, the reason why I think I should be able to shit on Jews on Twitter, or the reason why I think I should be able to say crackers is because of all this generational trauma, blah, 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 blah. How do I even know any of this is true? Like, how do I get, versus it's just a cope for them to be an asshole?
Ooh, are you going to bite the bullet on this one, Philly? What's your answer?
You don't. You got. I mean, I don't really have a good answer for that. You don't.
Yeah.
know.
So this is why I don't care. I'm not interested. I'm wholly uninterested.
Know, Destiny, but then by that logic, you can understand why people. There's some things you say as like problematic or whatever.
What do I say that I wait? Hold on. What do I say that's problematic? Wait, stop. What do I say that's problematic?
So just think of all the arguments you've had with black people online.
One argument. I've had arguments with Jewish people, black people, women, Indians, Muslims. I had all sorts of arguments. Okay, tell me with black people, what's the particular thing that's?
So, well, okay. to be fair.
Oh no, I want it. Hold on, he said it. I want his example. Just one example. Just one.
Okay, if my memory served me correctly, you remember that whole New York City.
The bike thing, yes, I do remember.
So you were like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were covering it, and there was a lady at the news was interviewing a black lady, and she said something. She said something like, that's America. It is what it is. Like, that's just how shit is in America. She said something to that effect, and then you were like, you paused the video and like. You were exasperated, and you said, well then why don't you just go back to Africa then, right? Like, and this was during a stream where you were like, so it could be considered a joke, but this was during a stream where you were like really caught up in this whole race thing between the black kids and the white lady, and you made that comment. Now, for a first time viewer, they might think like, whoa, this guy,
was this the lady who got on video and where people came out basically with receipts showing that the black people that had basically accosted the white nurse lady had basically completely fucking lied about their story, recorded the thing on phone, and then leaked it all over the internet to try to get this lady's life destroyed. And then their black sister gave an interview on TV and she's like, well, this is just how horrible it is being in America, blah, blah, blah.
Was it his sister?
I think, wasn't she the sister of one of the people involved?
No. Be honest, I don't remember.
I think she was the sister of one of the people involved. That was my understanding. It was a family member. Sure, maybe not. Listen, if you want to say that comment was problematic, sure, I'll give it to you. Sure, probably shouldn't have said it. I don't really feel bad for it though. Fuck. That's hold on. But to be clear, this is like what I'm talking about. What you just expressed there, that's like the sensitivity of black people. Because if I would have made that comment about like any other person, I don't know if anybody would have given a fuck. Because there's a black person though who was involved in obviously dog shit human being behavior, making wild comments about like this is fucking America, blah blah. Like what the fuck?
Wait, what dog shit human behavior was that lady involved in?
The fact that they basically forged that entire event, tried to destroy that one woman's life because they were scamming the city bike system, and then made a GoFundMe to profit off of it. That was all dog shit human being. And they did it off the back of, this is also another reason why I don't believe even you when you talk about, I don't know if you said this, but like generational trauma and shit, if you actually cared about generational trauma or white supremacy or black people getting fucked in America, these should be the people that you fucking hate the most. Because these people take white people in the middle and say, I don't believe any of this shit, when they start to cite racism and all these other problems, when they're clearly just trying to scam the system and destroy that lady's life and scam everybody else when they do a GoFundMe for money. These are like the worst types of human beings.
Why don't you just say that?
I did. I said all of that.
No, you said go back to Africa.
Yeah, that one comment probably wasn't okay. I probably should have said that. Sure, STVphilly. I'm glad that you remember that one in my head, though, and you'll sit here and you'll suck Kyrie's d- for 2 hours trying to defend him retweeting a Holocaust revisionist documentary, though. Do you see where the priorities are?
Do you see how you took my point and twisted it all around, and now I'm defending Kyrie? Like, okay. So you kept asking me questions about like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I'm looking on the internet trying to find it. I didn't come in here to debate fucking Kyrie Irving. So no, I don't have these facts.
Sure, or literally every single example that you brought up that was incorrect and proved my point even stronger. Every single one you brought up. Okay.
Okay. So, but does that prove that Jewish people aren't sensitive? Like,
you don't have any evidence of it. But you very strongly believe it. You very strongly believe that you have no evidence of it. Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, when you see the ADL getting on like...
Yeah, fuck. I was going to say, that would have been a good argument. Like, well, what about the ADL? Does anybody else have a group? Well, what about the NAACP? What about like any other group in the United States that like...
I'm not disagreeing that the NAACP does stuff. My question is, when you said we're not incredibly sensitive, like it's just... I don't feel like that's true. I feel like they've gone online in terms of like their own lobbying campaigns and gone against online personalities or media personalities and made them try to toe the line, or sent strongly worded letters in regards to people who are just reporting on things accurately. And it feels like if the narrative is not favorable towards the ADL or the Jewish cause, like they're incredibly sensitive to that stuff.
I think that here's my issue, and if you want to have that conversation, I think you can have that conversation. But the issue I have is just people keep comparing like Holocaust revisionism to offensive jokes or racial slurs. If the ADL, and I could be wrong, maybe they do this, and if they do, I would disagree with them, but if the ADL is going out here and they're being like, oh, this guy said like a joke one time and we don't like this, or this guy used like a joke and we think this is really bad, then I would say like the ADL's being like out of line or crazy here. But I feel like most of what they go after is stuff that people don't generally do to other races. Because if you engage in that level of conspiratorial shit about other races, you get your entire existence fucking nuked. But there are people from my era of early debating, 2016, 2017 people who engaged in like the like the black, like the IQ shit, like the race realism. Those guys have been deleted so hard off the internet, you can't even find them anymore. People like Millennial Woes, Stefan Molyneux, fuck, I can't even remember these people.
They were pushing like race realism and shit.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. That would be the equivalent to the Kyrie Irving tweet. But those people got deleted.
Kyrie Irving had stream going over this fucking thing every night. I would agree with you 100%. But like,
oh my god,
we are no, Destiny. Look, can we just like be real for a second? Like, I've already conceded that he's probably anti-Semitic. I'm just
saying that anybody that pushes anything that's like remotely close to like Holocaust revisionism about black people or Mexican people, the reason why we can't bring up those examples is because those people's lives get deleted. You're not allowed to do shit like that. You would obviously get nuked off the fucking internet.
Hold on.
We got another example. Go ahead. Be careful. What are you going to bring up? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what about Nikki Haley the other day? And like when she was asked about the Civil War, she like refused to say slavery strictly to play into her base supporters of people who like think like slavery was not a cause for the Civil War, and there's this whole like talking point around.
I would have to see.
Erase history.
Sure. I would have to see Nikki Haley's comments. I'd probably agree with you, but you're talking about like the Republican Party and politics, right? If you're going to try to make examples of like things that like Republican pundits have said on political radio shows, well, I'd say, yeah, these people probably can get away with quite a bit more. But those aren't people working in entertainment. Those aren't athletes. Those aren't in that ballpark, right?
All right. Kyrie Irving deserved to be punished, I guess, for a suspension and a fine. I think the other stuff was excessive. I agree with you that there should have been.
Why do you think you have can you just admit though, can you say, I think it's excessive, but I have really no good reason to believe that? Can you admit that?
I do have good reason to believe that, or else I
what was the good reason?
I can't think of Destiny.
You can't think of any?
Hold on. If you can't think of
off the top,
then that's great. Then it's not a good reason. I don't have a good reason.
You can't.
I don't have an example of an athlete tweeting something out and then not apologizing. No, I don't have an example of that exact
If you don't have an example, then you can't say it's unprecedented. You just can't make that claim. You're making a claim that you can't prove. You can't give any examples. So just stop making the claim. You're holding an L optically and argumentatively speaking.
I don't even care about the L optically. Optics. I'm just saying that you have a really strong feeling about it, and you don't even have like an example, like a single one. Like you have a strong feeling about it, but not a single example. Like.
I mean, I just did a simple Google search, and you've got like 20 different celebrities that have gotten their careers canned because of racism or whatever.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
My argument is that people don't get in trouble. That's not my fucking argument. Like, can we?
Well, but the argument, you keep saying it was excessive, but there's no reason to think it was excessive. My guess is every single person would be treated that way, even if they apologize. And we've gotten examples of people. That one guy said the N-word, I think by accident, when he thought he was on break, and he lost his whole career. Even when they apologize, these people have been treated worse than Kyrie. If anything, Kyrie's probably had favorable treatment because he's a huge fucking athlete.
Okay. All right. We don't have to circle back to Kyrie every 5 seconds, do we? Because I feel like
we don't have to. But the fact that he keeps holding this position.
L on Kyrie.
You don't have to take the L on it. No. I don't think you should take the L on Kyrie. You should have said I'm anti-Semitic. Just say I hate Jews, and I'm like, all right, babes. Now we're in the real world. Like, just do that one.
Only if you say I hate black people.
I don't hate all black people. I love black people.
The only way I'll say that is if you say that.
I don't defend people that make race realist comments about black people like you defend people that make anti-Holocaust comments.
Like Nick Fuentes?
When do I defend Nick Fuentes? When do I defend his...
What the f*** do you mean? You spent a whole fucking year trying to deny that he was a fucking Nazi. What the f*** are you talking about?
I didn't say that he wasn't anti-Semitic, and I don't defend his comments.
No, you said I can't call him a Nazi because he doesn't fit this the exact script of a fucking Nazi. You had a whole 3-hour debate with Mr. Girl over, is it okay to call Nick Fuentes a Nazi?
And you had waffles, and you had waffles with him too.
Chicken and waffles, actually. Do you think that me saying that he doesn't fit the label of Nazi, but still saying that he like makes anti-Semitic comments or engages in Holocaust revisionism is the same as you defending Kyrie? I haven't called Kyrie a Nazi.
I'm not defending Kyrie, motherfucker. Will you stop saying that? I said he's anti-Semitic. I said he's probably.
Really, I'm gonna push back. I do feel like, and you included, a lot of black people just as soon as this they just blindly defended Kyrie and felt like this was unjust. They wouldn't.
I am not blind.
Hold on. Let me finish. And I think you know this to be true. A lot of people who claim that they wouldn't be anti-Semitic really went hard to defend Kyrie. And if we're being honest, generally speaking, when a black person gets into a scandal in the public eye, black people as a whole feel a strong need to defend them, irrespective of how guilty they actually are. See Bill Cosby, see
O.J. Simpson.
Now, there's plenty of.
I absolutely agree with
the O.J. stuff. I mean, like, I don't think he did it. But moving past that, that is definitely a thing, and I understand where it comes from to some degree. Not all these people actually share these views; they just feel the need to defend the person involved. But you have to admit that is exactly what your behavior comes across as, especially considering you can't prove why it's unprecedented.
Okay.
Hey, I want to comment on some of the stuff you said about the ADL, and then also some of the rates of.
Okay, it's not actually as long as you don't hit me with a bunch of numbers. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it helps get for perspective. So there are some things that the ADL has done that are like going overboard. Some of the stuff in terms of like oversensitivity about Israel and technology. Some of it, like you read it and it's like hard to even understand what they're going on about. But by and large, part of the reason why there's so much stuff with anti-Semitism is because it is the longest running form of discrimination in like continuing form of discrimination in world history. There's older ones, of course, but like you've got this stuff running around since the fucking Roman Empire. And then in terms of like when you think about the numbers, so Jews are like 2.4% of the US population. There's about 2,000 hate crimes levied at them this year. When you go and you adjust per capita, Jews come out far ahead of the next most targeted group by about 300%, just because there's so few of them. So there is sensitivity, yeah, but that's because they really are being targeted at a higher rate.
I don't disagree with any of that.
And like if you, so just recent statistic from the Harvard Harris poll to kind of show you an example of these spikes, 67% of Americans aged 18 to 24 believe that Jews, not Zionists, but Jews, are an oppressor class.
Okay, listen. They might have valid reasons to be incredibly sensitive, and that's fair. And then black people would argue that they have incredible reasons to be sensitive as well. And then we're just going into like who has more justification for being so. The question is, should the behavior in response to that sensitivity be condoned? That's it.
Yeah, and I don't actually, yeah, and I actually agree that there is, a good reason to be sensitive if you're black. Like there is a lot of stuff that's systemically that really does have those kind of dog whistles, and that is kind of set up. You look at like the way that redlining is done in the United States. Like, yeah, there are real problems. So I don't want to diminish that, but like when you're talking, part of the reason this is why I jumped in so strong at Philly is you're talking about like generational trauma. This is an event that wiped out half the Jews worldwide. You think there's going to be sensitivity? Like people are still alive from this event.
Yeah, but I don't think Philly's even arguing that there's not going to be sensitivity. I think his argument is that essentially like all these groups are very sensitive. And I think Destiny was trying to argue that black people are more sensitive. Now, I mean, these are kind of hard things to measure, so we're just using anecdotal examples. But the question is this sensitivity justified? And I think you're arguing that it is for all groups. The question is just whether or not the behavior as a result of that sensitivity is justified. That's what we're really arguing at this point.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of why I wanted to push when Philly started talking about how Jews are more sensitive and all that kind of stuff. It's like, all right, let's put this in its place. So, but yeah, I do think that there are legitimate justifications to be sensitive. That's
Are you Jewish?
I'm half.
You're half? And do you live in America? You sound like you do.
I've lived all over, but yeah, I'm in America now.
Okay, gotcha. And how long have you worked for the ADL?
Never.
Gotcha.
They're hiring.
Yeah, I don't care. I got other things to do.
No, but like, yeah, just to wrap this up. So I think sometimes Destiny, like you'll ask somebody a question and they'll
He's not here.
Oh, so what happens with Destiny sometimes is he'll ask you a question and then you'll give like 3 or 4 responses and he'll pick one and attack that. And if, you like, so me comparing Kyrie, the Jewish community's reaction to Kyrie as being sensitive, that turned into me like defending Kyrie and having to show why or having to explain why I think a tweet is not worth the punishment. Now Destiny did like make a good point about the non-apology. That is a very good point. Like if he would apologize, I do agree that the punishment probably would have been less severe.
Hold up, do you feel like Destiny's been making like pretty wildly racial comments? Like the Winston comment or like the go back to Africa stuff. Like you feel like he been and then Nick Fuentes, you feel like he got some beef with black people subconsciously?
So I think Destiny is like most Americans. I think that there is like a ever-present consciousness of race or like relating to race or trying to put everything into a racial box, when I think like mostly human beings behave like the same way, but just like culturally they're different, but like people have the same motivations, like Destiny, I don't think he's racist. No, I don't think he has like this hidden animosity. I think he likes to joke a lot. I think he wishes he can be a little bit freer with his speech. But
wait. Why do you think he's not though? If you heard anybody else say like the whole, monkey thing or like to go back to Africa,
well, wait, I didn't hear the monkey thing. What is it?
It doesn't matter. But the whole
does.
The Nick Fuentes thing, like Nick Fuentes, that was wild according to you. Chicken and waffles and all that stuff. Like, if you heard that from anybody else, you didn't know them personally, you probably would have just said, yeah, they're probably racist. So why do you give Destiny the benefit of the doubt?
Because I know him personally.
You know him personally?
Well, not personally. Like, I don't know. Like, I never spent in real life time with him, but I've spoken with him a few times. Like, I just don't get the feeling that he is racist. Like he very well could be. I don't know. Like that's just not the feeling I get. I don't know how to quantify that feeling, but I mean, I probably would listen. I might dox myself here, but my nephew knows Nick Fuentes. My nephew is a hardcore conservative, runs in those circles. He has a picture with Nick Fuentes in the Washington Post.
Careful. We already know you're from Philly. This detail added, like, I'm pretty sure I can just Facebook you,
Probably not. But even if you do, who cares? I really don't. I like it. It's whatever.
Yeah, you got a couple hundred friends or some shit on Facebook, or you like private online?
Yeah, I'm private online. I've gone through great lengths to kind of separate myself from my real identity.
But you do put your city's name in your username.
Yeah, because that's yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a hell of a way to stay private. It's like, hey, this is my city. I feel like that's kind of wild. But anyway, sorry, I keep cutting you off. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I have family members that might fucking have the same beliefs as Nick Fuentes. It's like of different perspectives, and just to call somebody racist for hanging out with Nick Fuentes is like, that's a little it's just not my cup of tea there.
Got you. So you don't want to call him racist because you don't want to call your nephew racist.
It's just that I understand the complexities of human beings.
You're looking for more proof is what you should say.
I would definitely need more proof. Yes.
Got you. All right.
I would definitely need more proof. Yeah, it's like, listen, what even if he was racist, like why if I came on here and was like, Destiny, you're a racist, like what would that accomplish at all? Like, like if he was racist, I'm not going to change his mind. Like, so to me, it just is like, no, I don't think he's racist, but if he is, it is what it is.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when Destiny comes back, we can let him know. We gonna question him on the fact that these people don't have a reason to fear that generational trauma, considering the fact that they're passed down all these stories of indiscriminate killings and they're constantly hyped up by the media, whether justified or not. We've created this frenzy, and under white supremacy, I feel like this thing is kind of just ramped up. So,
listen, it's a lot better. It's a lot better than it used to be, but I mean,
but it doesn't feel that way. But whether it is or not is different than whether it feels that way, and the way the media trains our mind, the stories that we hear about, and the way we're amped up. Look at George Floyd, when that happened. Look how it riled everybody up. It's because of the way our minds are working as a result of the things that we're fed through social media and things like that.
No, I agree 100%. I don't. Yeah.
For a good long while over the last 10 years, Philly, this is the least racist, least discriminatory period in American history.
But it doesn't feel that way, and nobody actually thinks that. You might have the numbers to back that up, but that's not what the actual people think. And that's more important. Perception is reality. The numbers that you gave don't matter. If I don't see the 5 million Jews, then that didn't happen. You understand? You can put up a number. And
Stop.
If I perceive the world as though it's exaggerating the number, then that's the real number in my head.
You got to chill.
Philly, really quickly, I sent you the Winston clip. Watch that before Destiny gets back so you can grill him on it.
The thing is, like, sometimes with this media stuff like that, a lot of it's kind of cognitive dissonance, and people do need to make more of an effort to get out of these things that we're stuck in.
Yeah, Destiny, we wanted to ask you. You spoke about the fact that somebody like Bruce has no reason to be upset about stuff, right?
Well, no, I'm sure he could have reasons to be upset about things. Yeah.
But you feel like for him the generational aspect doesn't really matter because of his $1 million at 20.
I mean, I feel like that's a bit reductionist. I'm sure there are examples of where it could have influenced him. He just didn't bring any up. My issue, I guess, is just that like you're familiar with like team games, right? Wait, you said you played League, unfortunately, for a little bit, right?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. That when you are playing team games, it's very easy to get an idea in your mind that it's everybody else's fault and not your own. And that carries over to every single aspect of life. But for some reason, when it comes to certain topics relating to misogyny or certain topics relating to racism, I think sometimes, as a white male, I think sometimes like women or black people or any minority is sometimes a little bit too quick to say racism or sexism every time a particular thing comes up. And for Bruce, that was the vibe that I got, 100%. Now, are there going to be black people in the United States that are affected by even things like slavery today through generational traumas and, Jim Crow and like all these other things? Absolutely, of course. Is it Bruce? Maybe. But if it was him, it's not because he got paid less than other OTK members. That's a wild statement to make.
Yeah. So I think it doesn't even matter whether he's actually suffering from it. I think the perception that people are suffering from it supersedes whatever reality exists.
Yeah, I could agree with you there, but then we should fight against the perception. But then if you fight against the perception, people will think that you're being racist. Right? Wes, you're about to get banned. If you fucking rub that dumbass microphone against your shirt one more time, I'm banning you from here. Stop making noise. Mute your shit. Christ. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you were saying something about perception and what we should fight.
Oh yeah, like I agree with you about the perception thing, but then I'm saying like we should fight a little bit against that, because then you end up in areas where women or certain minorities like are incapable of analyzing their own behavior critically or improving anything because they're just going to blame like racism or sexism or whatever, and it's like fuck. Yeah.
Okay, so you want them to be able to critically think about these kind of situations, and because they're not, you feel a bit of that frustration.
Sure, and then there's a whole bunch of like downstream things too. Like you're accusing like all the OTK people of being racist. That's really shitty.
I think this actually relates to like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing and all that stuff. I think people can't see past the skin color of the individual involved because of that media perception. Now, there's definitely situations where incredibly racist things does happen. Like I've covered certain cases with cops and like the police departments where they're yelling out slurs while they're beating people, like insane stuff. So those are very real things that we have to acknowledge and not pretend like they don't happen anymore, because even though things are substantially better, there are still parts of America where you will see wild things that are incredibly racist. Sure. And those need to be acknowledged so that people are not gaslit into thinking it's completely gone.
Sure.
Now, as far as the whole media perception of it, I don't know do you think it's a reasonable expectation to believe that most people should be critically thinking about these situations?
Probably not that much. I mean, people can only do so much, right? Like if people can't even stop like blaming their fellow league player for losing games, how do you expect people to not blame like environments or circumstances, especially if they have had like microaggressions or whatever in their life? Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So if you don't expect them to be, or you don't think it's a reasonable expectation for people to critically think about these things, to really analyze the medias that we're being fed, aren't they just inherently victims of a media narrative and a social landscape that encourages them to be afraid and to feel like racial issues are incredibly heightened, even if they're not in reality?
For sure, yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you recognize that they are victims of this thing, does your response to that make sense?
A little bit, but I think that my response isn't to what my response, and I think it's probably true of a lot of people's response. My response isn't necessarily to that. My response is to how different people treat different things depending on who the subject is. So for instance, everything that you just said there, I can agree with that. Let me restate and you can tell me if I'm understanding what you're saying, okay? So you're saying, okay, sure, maybe BruceDropEmOff isn't actually affected by generational trauma, but the perception of it exists so much in media, and he's witnessed other people saying it that he's internalized it, and that's not necessarily his fault, and he might have actually had some genuine racist experiences in the past. That's not his fault. So when he's like the person he is today and he looks around and he's thinking like, well, fuck, like, like maybe it is because I'm black, like this is some bullshit, right? Can I really hold him solely accountable? Is it fair to expect him to be able to like fight through all of the social programming to have like a better understanding of what's going on, especially if he's only 20, right? That's essentially what you're saying, right? It's not fair for me to have that expectation of him.
Yes. And I think also, okay, well, I'll let you go and then I'll go.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that 100%. The only thing that I have an issue with though is that like you could make that same argument for
every single conservative that has a negative view of trans people, right? I think that there are really sympathetic arguments to why I can say this as somebody that likes trans people. If I found out that my kid had a teacher that let him use a female name and present a female in class and I didn't hear about it, I would lose my mind. I would actually be game over. I would lose my fucking mind over it. So when conservatives talk about being worried about this shit, I'm sympathetic to it. I understand why. But conservatives don't get anywhere near that much leeway for their programming, or people that are racist, actually racist. They don't get anywhere. Yeah, go ahead.
When you say they don't get leeway for their programming, give me an example of what it is that you're describing.
That, like, a conservative might say something stupid. I would agree. A conservative might say something stupid, like, I think that teachers are going around programming kids to be trans, right? That's a fucking retarded thing to say. And 99.9999% of the time, this is not even anything remotely close to this happening. But I can understand where it comes from. But when those people say that, they're called, they're called transphobic, they're called hateful, fearmongers, blah, blah, blah. Like, they'll say all these horrible things about this person. But then when a 21-year-old black millionaire says that he's a victim of generational trauma, well, now I have to take that very, very seriously. I think that's my issue, is like the double standards that people
I don't know if they don't get taken seriously or they're not given lots of leeway. In fact, I feel like that's super common nowadays to say, they're programming our kids at school and there's whole social movements supporting it. I don't feel like it's an ostracized theory or idea to have.
Well, it's not just because there are so many people that have it, but that type of thing will get you immediately labeled as like transphobic depending on the spaces that you're in, right? I agree that there are people that I agree, because there are people that have that opinion. Obviously, there are going to be people that defend it, but like outside of those circles, people aren't going to give any leeway or use the social programming argument for that person. Or maybe even something, maybe even an example that's more relevant here. You're going to be going to disagree with it.
I would say, is your argument essentially that some forms of prejudice are more accepted societally speaking? And
correct.
That's what bothers you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that some forms of prejudice that might have the exact same explanation for where they come from, more or less, are more acceptable than other forms, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm. So what should the response to that be? I'm inclined to agree with you. There's some form of prejudice that we as a society accept more. Like Muslims making death threats. Whatever reason, we're very tolerant of that stuff, even though as a society we would never be accepting of groups of people making death threats against other groups of people.
Sure. Or like if you've got if there's a white woman and she's walking down the street and there are like 2 or 3 black men that are approaching her and she crosses the street, if you ask the woman like, wait, did you just cross the street because they're black? How racist. If the woman were to go, no, I crossed the street because I was raped by a man, I crossed the street because they were men, you'd be like, oh shit, well, you're totally fine. It's like, well, wait, why? Right? Stereotyping all men is okay, but stereotyping all black people isn't. Like, why are some forms of discrimination okay and some aren't? It feels like we give more leeway based on the explanation. And I don't really, even if it all comes from the same place, I think it's
I think there's like the historical context that would make one form of, even though they're both bad stereotypes, I think they're like one is generally more historically. Would I even agree with that statement? I don't think I would.
It might be more historical, but I'm saying from the person's perspective, it doesn't make a difference. Like my guess is if you take somebody who's gotten beaten up or robbed by some Indians or Mexicans or black people, they're probably going to grow up hating those types of people. Same thing as a woman who gets raped by a man or raped by a lesbian or raped by whatever. Like people are probably going to have these stereotypes in their heads.
Okay, yeah. So I agree with you. Mm-hmm. There's some forms of stereotypes or prejudice that we accept more as a society. Okay, yeah. So what's the response in that supposed to be?
I mean, response from who?
From you personally, let's say you encounter a form of prejudice, right, that you see is as a result of the media training that people have received. They're in these circles. Mm-hmm. They now believe that all these ma'ams are actually men or whatever it is, okay?
I mean, for me, usually I just rage and call it out and then argue with the people over it.
Okay. Do you think that's conducive to any solution, or are you just like that's just your response?
That's just my response. Is it conducive? Probably not. Not as much as me like making like Islamic bomb jokes is probably not conducive to anything. But like I don't know if my goal there is to like educate or do my best. Usually I'm just afraid I'll shout at somebody, but yeah.
Okay.
Hey Steven, is your argument that either like these differences are a thing and we should accept that that's just a natural order of things, or that we should resist these differences in how we treat these stigmas?
I think if we're going to be super understanding towards some, we probably need to be super understanding towards all of them.
So, okay. If we should be super understanding towards all of them, if we are understanding towards some, then how come that doesn't play out? And how come that's not the rhetoric I hear a lot coming from you in particular, Destiny.
Well, usually I don't like being understanding of any of them. I would say everybody's retarded.
Yeah.
If a woman came up to me and she's like, I was raped 15 years ago, and so, I don't hire men for my business, I'd say, okay, well, you need to get over it or not be an employer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, I might not have like the best like social that's not like a problem that I fixate on. Like, how do I repair people's inbuilt biases? That's not a thing I talk about in particular or fixate on. So like, there's probably like a better way to respond. Like if you're trying to like genuinely change somebody's mind about that. Same thing with like trying to like move people away from Islam or whatever. Like I want there to be more atheists. I want there to be less like Muslims. But like, I don't think I go about that in the best way. It's just not like the focus of my content. Usually I just argue people I get mad about and I shout at somebody and make content out of it and then move on or whatever. But that's not like a thing I'm actually like actively trying to take the most optimal path to fixing.
So not that not that my opinion on this is like too strong or anything, like do what the fuck you want, but you have the capacity to understand like these things, right? So I'm not saying you need to apply this to all people, but having the capacity to understand like where these things come from, I don't think like saying, oh, this person's just retarded for thinking this, when you know exactly why they think that, and
but that's not I don't think it's my responsibility to talk about that at every single point in time. I just, especially if I'm being attacked, because especially if I'm being attacked by him, I'd rather just call the person retarded, make fun of him, and move on. I don't have the time to like humanize every single type of person. Like I'm sure there's a reason Mr. Girl acts the way he does. Believe it or not, there's probably even reasons why Lav acts the way that she does. But my job is not to sit here and like sort through everybody else's, fucking pathologies and try to like infantilize and figure out like why everybody is a slave to some dumb shit they experienced as a kid. That's not there are optimal ways to do it. But like I'm not everybody's therapist. I'm not here to like do that. I don't think I have that responsibility. Maybe some people think I do, but I don't know.
But you would like society to go down one path or another, either be more standing or just not give a fuck one or the other.
Yeah.
And just like, okay.
But that doesn't mean I optimize every single part of my life around like every single type of topic I engage in, and every single type of thing I do is going to be optimally geared towards like making people like a better, like there's going to be some stuff that I just don't care as much about, right? Sometimes we bring up like sports on my channel. All about sports. I'm not going to like do a whole bunch of research so the next time I talk about apparently Tom Brady's already retired. I didn't know that. I'm not going to be like, okay, well, don't you think you have a responsibility that when you're talking about sports that you need to be more informed? Like I'm not going to go to research on all that now. Like, yeah, I don't know.
All right, Philly, do you have any more sensitivity training you want to give Destiny?
Yeah, actually, but no, not right now. Maybe another time.
Really thinks you might be a closeted racist, but he was talking about that while you were gone.
Oh, he thinks I'm a closeted racist?
You might be. He said you might
be. Well, wait,
okay.
Can I just ask you about the, what was it? Somebody just sent me this on Discord. That monkey thing? What was that about?
What monkey thing?
This guy that you debated today literally radicalized you instantly.
No, this is just wow, bro. What are you watching? This is insane shit. Or maybe because
that's what I said, but nobody agreed with me.
Because you're human, do you look at this and you're like, oh, this is like, is this Winston behavior? Like,
oh boy,
Jesus,
that sounds pretty bad.
It was some reference I didn't get, and then somebody explained it to me.
Oh,
later.
Winston?
Like, oh shit. Yeah.
Oh, sometimes like when black people just piss me off, I just like they look like apes to me, and I just like make the comment because I think it's like the closest approximation of where their evolution is for their brains, basically.
Okay, so like
you do that, Steven? You do that. You send them, or are other people sending them? I'm confused here.
I think when XQC was playing Overwatch, I think part of what you do in fucking Overwatch, he's a Winston main. You jump around and you're fucking Winston is an ape character or whatever. And I think we were watching kids drive away in a car that they'd all jumped on. And I made a comment. It's like, do you go full Winston on every fucking car? And then after I said that, I realized like, okay, well, they're all black. And Winston is technically an ape in Overwatch. And it was like, not like that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not how you actually feel about black people. It's just
the fact. I just want to say that the fact that you are even asking me this, unironically, is like such an unbelievably fragile comment that like I'm only a black person. I'm just saying only a black person. And actually, even more specifically, only a black person online would ever ask me a question like this.
No, yeah. Steven, hold on, Steven. Like I came here because it sounded shocking. That's why I asked, right? Like, this doesn't sound like you, which is why I was confused. Like, what, did Steven sending a bunch of like monkey memes to black people all the time? Like, that seems like out of character.
Oh no, it's Prime. He said it on stream in response to the Kai Cenat riot. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. You remember when a couple months ago when he came out and like 1 million kids came out and like they were breaking shit and chasing him down the street. Destiny was watching a part of that where there was a bunch of kids jumping on his car, and he was talking to XQC, and he said, "What is this? Some Winston shit or something like that?" And
that's why I asked, like, hey, like, what? How do you feel? I didn't accuse you of anything, and it feels like you're being fucking sensitive when I didn't even come at you hard. I never do that to you.
Okay.
I don't think, and Abba was joking. I wasn't debating if you're racist.
Hold on, wait. I'm not supposed to do this anymore. I'm not supposed to say, okay. I disagree with your assessment. You thought there was a potential for it. That's why you had to ask me to try to check. Like,
me?
No, Prime Kai. It wasn't. You weren't like just randomly bringing it up, right? When I saw Hassan call that one guy shit skin, and I know that's an Indian racial slur, I didn't have to email Hassan and be like, did you actually mean, like, are you actually racist and you hate Indians and that's why you use his 4chan insult against his kid? I just watched it like, oh, it's Hassan. He's not. I don't think Hassan's racist. Yeah.
I asked if you sent the memes because I
didn't send any meme. I was watching
exactly
play over. Oh,
this is why I asked because I didn't know the situation.
Who said I sent 8 memes to a black person?
That's why I thought I heard. That's why I asked to get clarified rather than just react. Like, this is me being reasonable by just like asking, hey, what's the situation here?
Okay, well, I'm glad that the racism police came and investigated, and there are no formal charges. And yes, officer, it was a totally innocuous thing. Okay, just a misunderstanding. Okay, it was just a misunderstanding. Okay.
I think you're giving
also, wait a second. Did you ask me? Did I do this, or did you say, is that really how you feel?
In response to you saying the sarcastic statement, you said, I think that's when he said, wait, do you really feel that way?
Did you? But do you think there's a chance that is how I felt? That black people are unevolved, so sometimes I compare them to apes?
Destiny. Many people have come to me. This is the most
wild kick stream I've ever been part
of. Destiny. People have come and told me, like, hey, don't talk to him because he's racist. And they give me this and this examples. And I'm like, oh, with my experiences, he is not racist. I think he handles situations really badly sometimes, but like, I don't think that he's a racist. And so that's why it would seem out of character for you to do the racist thing that I thought that I heard.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're never gonna. This conversation is gonna carry you for the rest of your career. What's going on? It's gonna follow you. It's gonna follow.
I don't care. I'm like, I'm not. No, it's just it's such a dumb. I think the only white person online who said more N-words publicly than have ever been leaked private. I don't think there's ever been a private log ever in the history of all of my 50 years of internet of me like being racist at all, like even remotely, right? Like, it's never happened in 15 years. But people still think I like my like little girls. They think I might be secretly racist. They might think I have secret children. They might like, like. It's just it's such a bizarre world to live in where people have these strange thoughts about it. But, I'm glad you came in and checked. I'm glad to answer it. If you have any other questions about me, liking minors or being anti-Semitic or hating, like Arabs or whatever, yeah, feel free to let me know. I'm here to clear it up for you.
So I heard you say Owen's really built different. Like, he doesn't say anything weird behind closed doors, but in public, he just says the most foul, weird.
Okay, that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do.
He's built different.
Like, you probably feed black homeless people on the fucking weekends, but on stream you just say the wildest shit.
We are here because we love and appreciate you.
Yep, that's what I love you too.
I wouldn't go that far, but y'all enjoy yourselves.
Okay, have fun. Be careful. All right,
peace out, y'all.
Have fun. Peace out.
See ya.
Have fun.